Welcome back to the Forecast, episode 154. The Forecast is a bi-weekly podcast streamed on Thursdays and released on YouTube and podcasts on Fridays. We're a community of people who love exploring and discussing all kinds of things from video games to board games, film and TV, and everyday life experiences. If you'd like to know more about what we do, you can follow us at facebook.com/thehorizonfb, or you can come hang out with us on our Discord channel. You can check out our website at wearethehorizon.com. We have a bunch of original content for you to browse there, including Multi-Arc, Starfinder Adventure, The Discordant Signal. Additionally, everything we talk about is going to be in our cast notes, which will be pushed out to whatever podcasting app you're using. My name is Alex, not Aaron this week. Aaron is out on sabbatical. We put him to work finally, probably.
About time.
Finally pulled some money in.
Yeah.
I'm joined by a couple additional people here. We got Owen.
Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
We got Jake.
Hey, what's up?
And we got Caleb.
Hey, that's me.
Also missing this week is Chad. He moved basically at the same time as Jake, but is apparently much slower at unpacking. So
He also moved much further than me.
Yeah,
True.
Jake went up the road 30 minutes. You know,
An hour, but
yeah,
Chad moved across the country.
several states over. Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I was over there helping him put together his desk a couple days ago, so I thought he would be ready for this, but apparently they're just bouncing around from task to task, not ever actually completing anything. It's one of those ADD unpacking situations.
Sure.
So he was explaining that all to me earlier. It sounds rough. But yeah, we are here, and hopefully we have enough to talk about today.
yeah. The news was a little light, you know, coming out of the all of the Summerfest things. So there was not a ton of new gaming news, but there is stuff, and we're gonna get that started. But I think first, Alex and we were discussing before the podcast started that we stumbled upon the recently updated, as of last year, Rolling Stone's top 500 songs of all time.
Yeah, which is intriguing to me because, like, how do you make a list of the top 500 songs of all time? That just seems baffling and very difficult to pull off accurately.
Also, why 5? That's so many. Like, do top 100, maybe.
I guess, like, when you're
500?
expanding it to, like, of all time, you need to have enough slots to, like, at least put everything you feel like should be on it somewhere.
I mean, it might be, if they have 50 employees, it's like, okay, everyone give us 10.
Oh,
and they'll just put it in a list. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I
what
think
we do.
And, like, it is a clusterfuck, but...
yeah, I think there's also just when you're dealing with music over hundreds of years, because there are songs on here that are like Cole Porter and things like that from like the early, you know, like you're dealing with at least 100 years worth of music, that it's hard, I would imagine it's hard to pick like one or two songs from a given year across every genre of music that there is. Like that just seems hard.
Man, when are we doing top 500 video games of all time?
Yeah.
I think IGN did that at some point.
You guys want to do that right now?
Yeah.
Not much content. Let's just start.
We can just rank video games for
Yeah,
like
okay.
3 hours.
Okay,
Yeah,
number
fine.
500, Alex.
Tomba 2.
Whoa, that's too low. Get out of here.
Nailed it.
It's a game that I've heard is good, but I've never played myself, so it's probably like 500.
Yeah, it
Just
probably
play it.
Really
Really solid. Really solid
probably
game.
Can 499 be Fallout 76? Can we?
No.
Mm.
No. Unacceptable.
That's 501. Just barely didn't make the
Oh,
list.
shoot, darn.
Dang.
That's rough,
Yeah,
buddy.
we got all these songs ranked. Obviously, we're not going to go through 500 songs in a list, but we wanted to call
we're gonna
out
go
some
through
things.
400.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe the craziest thing on this list is number 10 is Outkast, Hey Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking the same thing.
But
Why
it's
is
such
it
a
wild.
good
there?
song.
It's so crazy
No,
that
man.
is in the top 10
Best
of all time.
song of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just beat out God Only Knows by the Beach Boys.
Yeah,
Which
Insanity.
is an amazing song. great.
it did beat out Tiny Dancer. So like you have to put that into perspective because Tiny Dancer is at 50. So like that is really just saying something. But I mean you could not escape this song in the early 2000s. It was everywhere. It was catchy. It broke genres. Like
Where's
fucking
Smash Mouth
slaps.
then? I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Where's All Star?
Yeah. True.
I feel like
Somewhere in
Can
here,
we
I'm
search
sure.
this list? I don't know.
Hold on, I will
if
search it.
Smash Mouth
Alex,
is actually on here. We're not talking about this list anymore because it's broken.
The problem is the list isn't consolidated in one page, so it's hard to sift through.
Yeah.
But
What
like,
surprised me at being so low is Bohemian Rhapsody,
yeah,
which is all the way down at what, 17?
number 17,
17.
Bohemian Rhapsody, which I feel like a lot of
Weird.
people would claim is like the greatest song of all time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Hey Ya is such a weird pick. I don't know, man.
Really is.
yeah. Number 9, and this one I feel like deserves to be up here, is Fleetwood Mac's Dreams. Like that is some quintessential music. I agree with it should be high because like Rumors is a crazy great album. Like it is iconic. I agree with this.
I can't
really
say
know Fleetwood
I know
Mac,
the
yeah.
song,
Yeah.
Man.
so I don't know. I know Rumors as an album did a lot of stuff when it came out.
And now, I mean, it's not just like, oh yeah, when it came out, like they just stopped being good the year after. Like, I know that I have a soft spot for Fleetwood Mac, but like that is very quintessential rock, like classic rock. I think Fleetwood Mac is fantastic, and it deserves to be up here. But when you have it bookended with like, Hey Ya,
Yeah.
Dreams, and then next is Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On, which is also a good song. You're just in a very weird place of like, what is this top 10?
That's my playlist.
It's so 240 is Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way. That's pretty good. In my quest to find Smash Mouth, I found that.
Smash Mouth is not on it. I looked it up. They apparently
Shame.
tweeted that they were very upset that they weren't on the top 500.
Unbelievable. They're at least as good as Hey Ya.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And then we've got number 7, the Beatles' Strawberry Fields Forever.
Seems like a weird song choice for them.
I feel like they have more
is that-
iconic.
Right?
Mhm.
I think
That's
there's a
kinda
couple
what I
Beatles songs
thought.
on here, right?
There are a
I
few.
saw Imagine
There are
was on
tons.
there.
There are tons of Beatles songs all
I'm
over
sure.
the place.
I Want to Hold
But-
Your Hand is at
but-
15.
Yeah.
That one being
Stay in the life.
the highest rated one is a little weird, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It might be, maybe it's the same problem we have, where it's like, what Beatles song do you like? And everyone picked a different one. It's like, well, everyone's kind of ambivalent towards Strawberry Fields Forever. So,
Yeah.
like, I
That
guess
one's
it's
the
number
highest
1.
rated.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
That
Probably
makes
how
so
Hey
much
Ya got there,
sense.
too. Because
Probably.
no one's going to be like, I hate Hey Ya, but it's like, well, it's fine.
Everybody was like, yeah, Hey Ya is an alright song, and then it was on literally everybody's list as being an alright song, so then it
So it
made
made
top
it to
10.
10. And then everyone looked at it and went, that's not right. Something's gone wrong.
But we have to publish this now, and then they push the button.
Yep, we got
we
deadlines.
got to do it. Number 6 is Marvin Gaye's What's Going On.
That's fine, I think.
Yeah,
Sure,
6 may be a
I
little
guess.
high.
I think 6 is very high. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you
In
can
the-
tell a lot of, like, genre bias,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, well, I think that
You're not
there's going to
wrong
be
there.
some interesting things to be said after that, because then you've got number 5 is Nirvana's Smell Like Teen Spirit.
Smells like Teen Spirit. I mean, I feel like that's such a crowd pleaser, though. Like, everyone,
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like, likes that song.
I
That's pretty
agree.
much true.
I think that deserves to be top 10 because it it is well known, and even if you don't listen to the genre, like you know that like opening like da-na, da-na.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
I feel like it really hits the sweet spot because it's like it's poppy enough that it got really popular, but for people who are like, oh, I don't like popular stuff, it's Nirvana. So it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like alternative enough that they're like, yeah, I love that song.
Number 4 is Bob Dylan's "Like a Rolling Stone."
All right, I feel like they missed out on the meme of putting this as number 1, so that it had Rolling Stone in the name, but was not the Rolling Stones.
Huh.
That's what they should have done.
That's what they should have done.
They didn't
The
even
entire
put Rolling
list is-
Stones as number 1.
No.
It's just a joke. It's a long build-up.
Rolling Stone's highest was "Gimme Shelter" up at like what 12 or 13.
Yeah, something like that.
Banger.
The list is
Um,
entirely made out
13
of
indeed.
Rolling Stone songs
Yeah.
or songs that have Rolling Stone in the title.
You're right.
Or just in the lyrics, just anywhere.
True.
Number 3 is Sam Cooke's "A Change Is Gonna Come."
I have no idea what the song is.
Yeah, I don't think I know it either.
I believe that this is some sort of protest song, and I do not know it, and it is kind of sad that I don't know it for it being so high.
1964.
Like, I'm
it's pretty long
blaming
ago.
me on
It was
that,
a-
not this.
It was a little
pretty
before our
sure-
time, I reckon.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure the episode I just watched of Umbrella Academy, they sang this in it. A short piece of this song.
Oh,
I
shit.
think that you're right. Number 2 is Public Enemy's "Fight for Power."
I know the song,
And-
but I did not think it would be anywhere near this high. I don't know. It's also not a genre I paid too much attention to.
Yeah, I mean, same.
And number 1 is Aretha Franklin's "Respect."
I feel
Which
like that
I
one
can
deserves to be
actually-
really high.
I can
Yeah.
actually see this being this high up, yeah.
Yeah. The interesting thing, I think, for us was finding the old list before they, like, I don't know, changed it back in 2021, because they had a list before that was from earlier in the 2000s. And so they, like, and it was interesting that, like, I think the old number 1 was Nirvana's "Smell Like Teen Spirit." And I the fascinating thing is exactly the fact that, like, it wasn't like upset or unseated by newer songs.
Sure.
It's just they'd all changed.
Yeah.
How high was Hey
I don't remember.
Number 2.
But I do remember just seeing the number 1s, and I was like, that's odd. That, like, I think they changed how they were judging them to move things around, and it wasn't just
Sure.
like.
I mean, it's
Um,
also, in that time, probably you have so many different people doing
Yeah.
the rankings.
Yep.
That's just
Yeah.
like people's tastes changed or whatever.
So
Yeah.
this list is like all well and good, but then there's something on it that I feel like invalidates the entire list for me.
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah.
And I know it's only number 490, so it's like way back there.
Oh my god.
But it's Lil Nas X "Old Town Road,"
Yeah.
the 490th best song of all time. It's like a joke song, right? Like they made it as a joke.
Look, it's a good song.
I don't
You
know,
cannot
man.
deny how good of a song it is.
It was like a
Like-
big meme, and then it became popular because it was so funny. Because it was a meme.
It was a meme to you, but it was art to others.
is
it
Morpheus
also-
on here?
it also, like, absolutely, like, broke the fucking country radio. Like, it didn't just, like, oh, hey, this is meme, haha, funny. It also, like, did something of people were just like, hey, this is technically country music. Like, looking at it completely from all aspects, it's country music, and it's popular country music, but popular country music stations didn't want to play it because it was Lil Nas X, and
Yeah.
that's not a safe country artist. And so, like, he had to get Billy Ray Cyrus to go there to be put onto the track just to make it be, like, even more eligible. And even then, they still were pissed off for playing it. And I think that says a lot about country music and the people that listen to it. But
There
like,
go all our country music fans. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think that there is something to be said there about how, like, it really did just break a fucking barrier, and they were like, hey, this is country, and you're literally gatekeeping people out of it because they're not fucking white.
It did break the record for the longest run at number 1 at 19 weeks, which is insane. I don't
That's
understand.
ridiculous.
There's only 40. There's only 41 songs that have been number 1 for longer than 10 weeks. and it went 19.
That's pretty solid. I mean, like I said, you cannot deny the popularity of the song.
It's not top 500 material. I don't know.
I would agree.
It's not as good as Hey Ya. Statistically, mathematically proven.
Anyway.
Let's move on to what have you been playing lately. Let's start off with Jake.
Oh, you're gonna start with me. You want to start with the big one? Should I talk about all my shit now, or are we doing it later?
I think most of it you're doing later.
Okay. Well then I'll do a tease, a little amuse bouche. Oh, I think my browser just froze, which means you guys lost my camera.
No, you're still there. You still see.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. Well, just basically, I got really into fighting games, so I've been playing a lot of different fighting games, and I'm going to talk about basically from like a newcomer's perspective, a lot of different ones, but we'll get to that later. So
if you like fighting games, check out the later end of this podcast.
Yeah, keep listening.
Keep listening. That's called a tease. Yeah, are all of them fighting games, Jake?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, all right, cool. Caleb, what do you got?
I got a couple little tiny games I played recently. I haven't been playing much, but played this game called The Looker. It is a free-to-play game on Steam.
Donkey did a video on this,
He did, yeah. Okay. It is essentially The Witness parody game. And it's pretty funny. It's got some neat little puzzles in it. It's really, really short. Well worth playing through, I think. Alex, did you get a chance to play it? I know you were gonna.
I did, yeah. I'd say it's worth playing through. Some of the puzzles were a little weird.
Yeah.
Finicky.
But there were
I did laugh out loud a couple times.
Yeah. It is funny. It does a good job of parodying that game.
It's free. It took me 81 minutes to play, it looks like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wicked short.
But free.
Free.
Hard to argue with.
Yeah, exactly.
Free?
Free. So if you're a fan of The Witness, it's great. It's a great game to play through. I've also played this game called Toem. Toem? This is a game I think Owen actually would really like. It's a little black and white adventure game where you play as a amateur photographer and you're headed to the top of the mountain to get a picture of this event called Toem. And along the way, you're taking pictures of a bunch of things, helping people out along the way. Most of the time, it's like it takes your fetch quest stuff, and instead of going and picking up stuff, you go and take pictures of stuff and bring them back. A lot of times, you got to find something hidden in the environment because when you go to take a picture, you go into first-person mode, and you can actually like move around rather than the isometric view, where you might miss stuff hiding behind other things. So it plays with perspective a bit, and it's pretty solid.
Are there cute dogs that I can take photos of?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sold.
All of the developers' animals are in the game, and you get an achievement for photographing them all.
Aww.
Pretty great.
It looks a little bit like a short hike. I'm kind of getting those vibes. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you get a little bit of a short hike vibes. It's not going to have the platforming mechanics, but the rest of it feels pretty similar, I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it looks really cool. It reminds me a lot of, and I think maybe it's just like the black and white of it, but it reminds me a lot of Chicory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's cool. And Alex, what do you got going on over there?
Sure. So the Steam Summer Sale happened. So
gasp! Did it?
There's it's still happening actually. I guess for a while.
Oh my god!
You know what's fun? One of the games that I played, I bought, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy this game. It's $40, whatever. I'll buy all the expansions for it and everything. Sure, I spent all this money. Literally within 12 hours of that purchase, Steam Summer Sale, and I'm just like, you fucking bitch.
Probably, if you hadn't played it, you could probably return it.
At that point, I had already played it for 2 hours, so I was like, I hate this.
That's why you never buy video games.
This is why you never play video games. You buy them and you put them on the shelf and you never play them. But yeah, Steam Summer Sale did happen. So Alex, what'd you get off the
Yeah.
Steam Summer Sale?
Basically just fighting game stuff.
Let's go!
All right.
Another tease!
I did end up picking up Aliens Fireteam Elite because it's like $15 right now or something really cheap. And Frank plays that game and likes it a lot, so I picked that up and was playing with him and Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Left 4 Dead 'em up kind of third person in the Aliens universe. You play as Colonial Marines.
So
It's not
cannon
bad
fodder.
actually.
Yeah, everyone loves Aliens Colonial Marines, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they kept on mentioning like Marines, and I was like, Colonial Marines? Are we playing Colonial Marines right now? Should I be hating this game? I don't know.
What so I guess how is it different from like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood?
So for one, it's 3 players instead of 4.
Okay.
Why? Why do games do that, dude?
I don't
It's
know.
so dumb.
I
At
don't
least
know
call
really.
it Left 3 Dead.
Yeah.
Like really lean into it.
It's for when you don't need to just exclude Owen, but you also need to exclude someone else from the group as well. And you're just like, all right, you can join Owen. It's just us 3.
It's just like a
Uh,
weird number.
It's really
Yeah.
got the alien swarm feel to it, like a third person alien swarm.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like.
I guess like the overall vibe would be one thing. They seem to lean heavily into like customization. There's like 6 classes or something, and all those classes level up, and you can. Are you shaking your head at that there's 6 classes? But
Why
you can only
make
play
6
3 people?
classes if it's 3 people? Make
Yeah.
it 6 player then.
I don't know. You each have like an ability and then like a gear that you can take, and all the classes as you play them level up and unlock like a pretty cool customization system where it's like basically like a grid that you slot like upgrades into, and as you level up you'll unlock more space on the grid, so you have to try to like Lego upgrades into this thing to make your dude better.
Mm-hmm. And it's got a lot of them will have it'll have like an ability on the left, an ability on the right, and an ability on the bottom. And whatever you put the mod next to is what it modifies with whatever you added, like extra duration or something like that. You got to kind of Tetris your way through it to get what you want. Kind of neat.
I think that's a cool system, and then also this like the weapon customization seems pretty in depth. You've got all sorts of attachments that will do different things, like more than just like percent accuracy. Like sometimes it'll be like after landing a precision blow for 5 seconds, your accuracy will be 10% better, or something like that. Like
Slow
something
the enemy stacking every hit or something.
Yeah, like something more active to the gameplay than just like a flat stat increase.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it seems like the gameplay seems more built around like you move from a portion of the map to a portion of the map, and then you kind of like set up for an assault of the enemies. Like you'll deploy turrets and traps and stuff like that, and then like trigger a wave, which kind of Left 4 Dead has that as well at certain points, but this seems like heavily focused on that kind of stuff because they give you consumables a lot, and it just seems like it's built towards that rather than like the run and gun aspect.
Sure. Okay.
And the
It's
enemies,
pretty cool so far.
the big nasty ones, have terrible hit and run tactics. They're so annoying.
Yeah.
They just grab you, pin you to the ground, smack you a bunch, and then they get an event and leave. And then they'll come back and do it again.
Yeah, you have to
Over and over.
really try to stop them from escaping. Pretty good gameplay element.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Frank was playing a guy that had like this scanning device, and he would throw the scanner out and it would like go down the hallway and like find the enemies and stuff like that. And a lot of times you'd find like the little like predator aliens around a corner, and he'd be like, all right, that dude's gonna try to jump you. But if he didn't scan something, they would get you every time. It was
Yeah.
it was crazy.
All
Pretty
right.
good AI. Not bad. And it's like $15, so pretty worth it. I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
And besides that, I've just been playing like a ton of Hollow Knight. No, that's a
Is
recent
that a new
game.
game?
I hear that's a good
Yeah.
game.
Oh wait, Silksong's out? You didn't tell me?
I don't know. The Silksong trailer dropped, and I have constantly had in the back of my head that I should finish Hollow Knight, and I just never do. And I just got up.
It's great.
I got the willpower to just start playing it again. I just restarted from the beginning and have been going through it again. At this point, I'm well past where I was last time I tried to play it.
How far are you?
I don't even know how to. Like, I kind of don't know where I need to be right now.
Okay.
But I've finished like the crystal area and like the sewers and the eastern half of the City of Tears. I just got the double jump not too long ago,
nice.
and the ability to swim through the poison water.
Oh,
dang.
man. Okay, you're cruising.
Yeah.
How do you not know where to go?
Have you
Well,
finished any of the Dreamers yet?
No. So I do have like that, I guess, at least on my map, is they put Dreamer faces on my map.
I'll give you a hint. You go to the thing in front of your
Yeah.
map.
Well,
That's a pretty big hint, I reckon.
I've just been kind of running in circles for a while, for like a few hours at least, because there's all these spots around the map that I couldn't reach before.
Yeah.
And I
double
unlocked
jump
like
opens up a lot.
Yeah.
I unlocked the double jump and the swim through the poison like very close to each other, and so now I've just been like cruising around to all these different spots, unlocking different things. I got to upgrade my nail a couple more times.
Actually, this is sort of on topic because SGDQ's going on. I was watching a Hollow Knight speedrun.
Huh.
It was a glitchless run, and they do not get the poison swim, and they do not get double jump.
They don't
Oh,
get
wow.
double jump, huh?
Nope. It's wild.
Yeah.
Getting to one of the bosses is supposed to be that you need to be able to swim through poison. But it turns out with the Crystal Dash move and some very precise platforming, you can make your way over there without it.
Nice.
I love the Crystal
It's
Dash.
so cool. Yeah, they use it so well. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but one of my favorite skips in that is there's a ledge to get to the City of Tears that normally you need to go like through this whole upper path to get to. But on the lower path, there's a ledge that you can't jump to without double jump. So what they do is they die, which leaves behind your little shade, and then they pogo off of its head, get onto the upper ledge, and swim there. It's the coolest fucking thing.
It's really good.
It's so cool.
I just recently was super dashing out of like the crystal area above Dirtmouth to go back towards Dirtmouth. And I just let myself keep on going, and then I realized that you could go from that right side of the map all the way over to where you start the game that you couldn't get to before.
Yeah. So cool.
And I was like, well, that's really cool. And then I was kind of disappointed because I expected more to be back there, not like because you couldn't reach it for like a really long time.
Do you have
Not really much back
DLC? The DLC was free?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the
DLC
DLC
was
is
free?
free.
Okay, so you do have it. Cool. Great.
Yeah, it's got like there's certain things in the game that have like a little mask to indicate that it's from
The DLC.
additional content. Yeah.
Okay.
Really great game so far. I don't know.
So
I don't know why I never finished
Yeah.
it.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But you're doing it now. That's what matters.
Yeah,
It's
of
been
course.
sucking up a lot of my time. Played it like 6 hours straight yesterday.
Dang.
That's
Nice.
fine.
Haven't done that in a while.
A game that I've been diving into and put over 24 hours in at this point is this little indie game, this thing called Neon White. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Fair, you say that like it's not an indie game.
Yeah.
It is an indie game. And
It is a small indie game.
so good. I absolutely everybody that I know loves that game. Thing it, the most cynical reviews of Donkey or not extra credits Yahtzee, yeah. Like both of their reviews were just like, hey, this game is actually good. And yeah, it is. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a a kind of a speedrun traversal game where you get guns. And you can either use the guns to shoot the enemies, or you can use the guns to use some sort of traversal move to jump or push yourself or to grapple hook yourself to other things to get from point A to point B. And I feel like the real gameplay in it is like, you kind of figure out the path to kill all the bad guys and get to the end, and you're like, okay, cool, I've killed all the bad guys, I get to the end, and I did that in like 30 seconds. I can probably do that in 29. And then about 3 hours later, you're there, and you're like, okay, so I'm sub 25 seconds now, and I need to, and I gotta do all of these new crazy things that I've discovered to do this even faster than that. It's so much fun to do that. And it's so entertaining to play. It's so entertaining to watch. It has just like such a solid core gameplay loop of just running through that. I think that the only complaint that I personally have out of it is that you cannot see, like, basically once you've beaten that little level, you get a ghost of your top speed, and as you run through, so that way you can see the ghost and you can try to catch up to it or see which way if you're going one way, if that's faster. But you can't look at anyone else's ghosts. And I think that's the thing that I don't like about it, because I remember in Mirror's Edge when you had similar things that were like, oh, hey, this is a challenge run and I'm trying to do it X fast, you could download some of like the world record ghosts and follow them. And now I wouldn't do that because that's crazy, and some of the world record times are like absolutely insane, and I don't know how you do that. Stares at Chad, who's not here, that has one of those world record times. But it would be nice to be able to like take Alex, because I know for a little bit there Alex was playing it, and it'd be nice to take Alex's ghost, put it in my game, and that way I could literally be running against Alex. Other than just trying to like beat whatever his time was, which I think I thoroughly did on every single level.
Wow.
Rude. Yeah. And then Alex would come and beat my stuff, and then I would go back and beat his, and I like that was also very fun. And then there was Chad, who just like
Chad ended the competition.
Chad ended the competition because he was like, I'm gonna do this one mission, and I'm gonna do it better than anything that you've ever seen, and somehow was doing it like perfectly.
One of the early missions was like, okay, you got it in 14, I got it in 13, you got it in 12, I did like 11 and a half. And then Chad's like, I did it in like 7.
Yep.
It's like, what? How do you improve that much?
That game chart, man.
Yeah. It's the game chart. There is like just like a point where you're just like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go faster than this person. You just start like, I'm good. And every time Chad beat one of my times, I was like, nope, because it was never by a second or two where I was like, oh, I need to like do something different. It was always by a ton, and also when watching what he was doing, there is no way I could mimic it. He was trying to like coach me through what he was doing, and even when I was doing the same steps, going the same route that he was, I was always several seconds slower, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing differently, but I was like, dude, this is your title. You get to keep this. This is all
L'Oreal training.
Yeah.
Coming in.
But I highly recommend checking out. It's very fun. It's very cool. Jake, there is a wonderful little anime story there, so you can, woo your little anime girls with gifts and get cool content.
Have you seen the donkey video?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like how he just like praises the game the entire time. At the very end, he's like, "Oh, but by the way, there's like dialogue in this game,
some anime bullshit,
and it's horrible."
Yeah. I
showcase like the most cringy character
sure
in existence, but still, it's not much better than that, I don't think.
Yikes.
I also appreciate that just how horny everyone is about this game. Just the Steam reviews are absolutely hilarious and very horny. Like even their official Twitter is unabashedly just being like, red, step on my face. And I'm just like, okay, we're just here now. We are just, everybody's on board.
Yeah.
And I do kind of appreciate that.
A lot of people in video game culture that want a lot of video game women to step on them lately.
Yeah, that's apparently a thing people are into. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that.
I feel like Jake has words. He keeps on almost having words.
I don't know, man. Like, whatever. Whatever does it for you, I guess. I don't know. I'll just be over here.
I mean, if you got something.
No, that was...
Okay.
He kept on trying to come up with a response
I
to that.
have no response to
Yeah.
I want anime characters to step on me. Alright, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's all good. Whatever.
Hey, I wasn't the one that said that in our chat. One of our friends said that, and I was like, sure, I guess you can let them do that. I wasn't expecting that, but I was like, hey, cool, go for it. I'll stick to my guy with 15 belts on, as Alex pointed out.
Everybody has so many belts in that game. Belts everywhere.
They do look like they ran into the belt section of a Hot Topic and ran out with more accessories than actual clothing.
They clean them out for belts.
Yeah. But
belts
it's good.
make you more aerodynamic, man. You gotta go fast.
Belts make you go fast, apparently. Yeah, no, I've actually I did beat the game yesterday, so because I wanted to get through everything and judge this on all of the content that's in that game. And it was satisfying. It was satisfying to watch and play through. It was satisfying ending. It was a very good game. I would highly recommend it. I don't know if it's gonna beat Tunic for my top spot of game of the year, but it's very close. I'm gonna have to think very hard between it and Tunic. So check it out.
Those are two games you're considering.
Hey,
I mean, he hasn't played the proper game of the year, so obviously it's got to be one of those two.
Yeah, no, I'm that ship has sailed. I'm just happy that I'm going to be able to vote for games that Owen presents this year.
Sure, there'll be a discussion and not just, all right, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that my goal of actually playing games this year and not just being left behind, and also it just happens to help that all of the games that I'm interested in happen to be doing well and at least are popular enough that it's catching even your attentions. So I'm like, oh, hey, this is going to be such a good Game of the Year cast at the end of this year. Don't worry, I'm still going to have paparazzi up there, so...
Oh my gosh.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Also, the game that I bought off of Steam, the day, hours before Steam sale, and started playing was this thing called Solasta. I feel like we've talked about it a couple of times. Hey, it's a good game, guys. You were right.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, because you guys kept talking about it, and I was like, turn-based RPG, tactical. This is checking off every box of a game that I can enjoy with my girlfriend.
Yeah, got the co-op action going on.
Yep, and so we've been playing it together, and we've been having a great time. I think I think that one of the things that I really loved about the game was how they were like, hey, you can hire this group of people to come in, and they'll get all the loot. So you don't have to carry all of the loot. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. I've just carried all of the loot.
You can just leave it. It's okay.
You just gotta leave the mundane stuff, man.
Everything you're not going to actively use, if it's something that you're just going to sell at the shop when you get back, you just leave it on the ground.
But when you've got a paladin who's got a bag of holding,
yeah,
you can carry everything.
I don't know, man.
You don't have to choose.
I'm playing a barbarian. I got a bag of holding, and I run out of space all the time.
I don't we're doing a great time of just stuffing our bags with stuff, and we haven't had too big of an issue yet. We are level 5, 6?
Are you looking at me?
Yeah. What level are we in Celeste right now? 5, 6? 6. Yeah, 6. We just hit 6 last night.
I think that's where we are, roughly.
Yeah.
Roughly
something like
about where
that.
we're at.
We've quickly caught up to you guys, and we're having.
It's probably easier to coordinate when there's only one other person they live in your
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah, it's very easy to just
And
look
they
at them and
aren't
go,
like moving.
more?
Yeah, moving
Yeah.
or Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Aaron in general, yeah.
Just generally, yeah.
Got him.
I think the co-op has been pretty solid. We did run into an issue last time we played
Oh
where
my
it kept on
God.
desyncing.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest issue I've ever seen. It would be like, Aaron would take his turn, and we would be like, did you just shoot a dead body? And he's like, no, that guy's still alive. And we'd be like, he's definitely not.
That's a very interesting thing because I've had a desync with Allison where hello car outside. We had an issue where I finished my turn, but it did not give it to her.
Yeah.
Like it just stopped.
Yeah,
And
I mean, that's what
so-
ended up happening with us. That exact
Eventually,
thing.
I think it was like an
Stop Block.
enemy's turn.
Yep.
And then
And-
like Aaron was like, it's not the enemy's turn, it's somebody else's turn, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
Have you guys, because this has also happened to us twice as far as glitches go, have you had any issues with the game thinking that characters were alive when they were not alive?
I mean,
Like-
beyond what we just described, I don't think so.
Because we had an issue where, or at least twice now, where we would kill the last person in that we were fighting against, and both on my screen and on her screen, there are no enemies left. But in the little initiative tracker, it still has one or two
Uh-huh.
people alive.
Yeah.
And so we're like,
right,
no,
what do
that-
we do now?
yeah, like we just kind of kept rotating through all of our turns, and then it would like go to the NPC's turn, like the bad guy's turn, and it would just not do anything, and then it would just then give it back to us and be like, okay, they did their turn, and we're like, no, they did not, because nothing changed.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
haven't
don't
run
think
into
we've
that.
seen that one.
Yeah, it's happened to us twice now, and we just had to restart that battle because we're like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
We only ran into that issue once, but in that
It
one
took us a
battle, we had
while.
it like 5 times in a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah.
We had to reload several different saves. We eventually found one that worked.
Yeah,
and
like
we
a
could
random.
continue.
It was, you know what it was? It was the very first autosave where we walked in
Yeah.
unprepared for the fight, so we just like reloaded our last save, and then it was like, okay, you want to cheat? I'll cheat too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm just having a good time with it. Allison just bought these boots that let her character just like run up the wall.
Those are
Nice.
great.
It is, those things are amazing. It is the most hilarious like animation to watch the person just walk and then suddenly just been walking straight up
Yeah.
and then walking. I was like, what is going on?
It also
Aaron's
helps-
character has those, and he walked vertically up a rope with them at one
Yeah.
point.
Oh, I cannot
That's
wait
right.
to see
Amazing.
It also helps because your character doesn't stop for like an hour before trying to climb something.
I don't know
Anymore?
what's with that animation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pausing before and after climbing.
that. Yeah.
Or
That
like
that
turning.
is
They're slow to animate.
yeah, that is something that bothers me with that game. Like the lack of pyramids. Like the pyramid design in
Divinity.
Divinity is really good.
Yeah.
For anyone who
Kinda
hasn't
bothers
played, the pyramids they're just an item that your characters can hold, and if you use one of them, you teleport to the other one. So
Yeah.
if you're in, say, a 4-player co-op game, you can all explore different places, and when someone accidentally finds a fight, everyone can just jump over to them and be in the fight.
Yeah.
It just makes
Very
things
good.
so much easier.
It's
Or
so
if you're
nice.
exploring, it's like, oh, I found something really cool over here, and it's like, well, shit, I was still in the store.
Yeah,
Wait for like 5 minutes because I gotta walk over there.
like not
You
having
just,
the
boom,
pyramids
teleport.
mixed with the animations being incredibly slow.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it also compared to Divinity, the maps are much smaller, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
And a bit
Yeah.
tighter, which is probably good for
Yeah.
Yeah, with
how
I mean,
exploration
with
goes in
what
that
we
game.
just complained about, yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably good.
Yeah.
You can't really like be doing something while someone else is like all the way over there.
Yeah, you pretty
Um,
much gotta squat out.
Yeah.
The only other complaint I have with it is trying to like trade items between players. If you try to drag something to somebody else's inventory and they're like 10 feet away, it's like, no, they're not close enough.
can't
Yeah,
do
you
it.
Doesn't
gotta
work.
you gotta
Yeah.
be near each other.
Divinity's
I'm like,
got them
just-
magic pockets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just let me move the item to the other person's inventory. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if
Like,
Baldur's Gate
restrict
3
it during combat or something if it's that much of a problem.
If Baldur's Gate 3 does not have pyramids, I'm gonna fucking riot. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
so
I'm
pissed.
gonna
I'm
be
gonna be
pretty
so
upset.
unhappy.
Yeah, but I mean,
besides those
it's a
couple
very fun
issues.
game. Yeah, I was gonna say it's very fun. I'm having a good time with it. I love the like dice rolly animations,
Yeah.
even though it's stupid. I do love seeing that like I rolled a 1 and that's why
Sure.
I missed. Like I think that's kind of fun. I also love that you can customize the dice if you bought different dice to be put into the game, so you could have cool looking ones and stuff like that. And I'm like, the dice goblin in me appreciates this. And I thought that was really neat and a good way of doing it. And also it's making me a better D&D player, because it's definitely telling me that things that I thought I could do in 5e are things you cannot do in 5e. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a good point. Because I definitely tried to just like throw an area silence so I could sneak past somebody, but apparently throwing a random magical dome around somebody alerts them that there is something going on.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. If
Yeah,
I was walking around and suddenly lost all hearing, I'd be a little suspicious.
Yeah, I'd be
a
freaking
little
out a bit.
suspicious, and I was like, oh, hey, good to know that this is how this actually works. So let's move on from what we've been playing recently to things that are going on in the game world. Alex, you've got here that we've God of War Ragnarok is having some issues.
I have the opposite, actually. It's
Oh, yeah?
it's super not delayed. It's definitely
It's super not delayed.
It's
not
it's
delayed
coming
at
out
all.
like what, 4 months?
I don't know. This year, I guess. They keep
they
on
haven't even given a
saying
date, have they?
no. It's just 2022, and like I feel like every couple weeks I see another article of somebody from the Ragnarok team being like, "It's not delayed, guys. Don't worry." And so I don't know where this latest rumor came from, but there was like a big online rumor that the date was going to be announced today on the 30th.
Has it been?
And then it didn't get announced, and everybody was like, "What the heck? This game's getting delayed. It's not coming out this year," which definitely feels like the vibe. But Corey
We know,
Balrog
like, nothing
said
about
it's
it,
not.
right?
Yeah,
Like no trailer, no like, hey, here's a gameplay teaser. It wasn't at
they
open
showed
quotes E3.
something. They showed something like a year ago, right?
There
when
was
they
like
first
an
announced it?
announcement, yeah, but no, I mean nothing since, right?
They haven't showed anything new since then. I don't think.
Watch
It might not
them.
be
It was supposed to come out last year when they announced it. It
Oh.
said 2021.
I mean,
Watch-
COVID, sure, but
Yeah. I was gonna say, watch them literally release it December 31st at 11:59 p.m. and being like, still 2022, still counts. We did it, guys.
I mean, at this point, they're gonna get to the point. Like, if it comes out this year, still, they're gonna get to the point where they're like, "Here's the date. It's in 3 weeks."
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
it's such a big game. Maybe it doesn't matter, but you'd think you'd be like, you want at least like, I don't know, a couple months just for advertising, right? Just to be
Yeah.
like, hey, here's
Right.
this game that's gonna kick
Yeah,
ass.
buy
it's
it
gonna
for
sell
Christmas.
no matter what
I mean,
because of how big
absolutely.
the last one was. But
Sure.
also, it's just not typical to not say anything about it.
Right?
Was
I mean,
this-
hype is a thing.
Hmm.
Like, people might not be interested, but if they see enough trailers, then it's like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I'll
Yeah.
get it.
Maybe they're trying to, and this is crazy, but maybe they're trying to mitigate the hype and, like, not let it get out of control like other games have in the past.
There's got to be a line though between
Yeah.
announcing the date a week before it comes out
Yeah.
and Cyberpunk, which was announced like 5 years before it came out.
Like
It was-
8
it was
years
8
before it
years,
came
I
out.
think.
8, like right? Like,
They announced it before Witcher came out.
Jesus Christ! I mean, maybe it will come out. Maybe it'll be a Christmas release, right? Like,
Yeah.
But again, you'd think they would have put something out, like even a trailer, without a date, like Silksong did. Just be like, hey, look, we're doing it.
It's
a
work is
game.
being done.
Yeah, right. But so far, it's like, oh no, you don't know. It's definitely gonna come out. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, Corey Balrog came out on Twitter and was like, "It's not delayed, and like, please be patient. And if it was up to me, I would tell you guys everything, but it's not up to me. So we'll share stuff when it's ready to be shared."
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't.
It's not delayed. Combined with be patient. It's like, oh, pick a lane. Pick a lane. It's either coming out this year and I don't have to be patient, or I should be patient because it's delayed. Like, throwing both just feels like you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
It's weird.
Was
Definitely
this
weird.
was this why I think it was that the Sony devs were getting harassed by somebody? I read a story and I'm trying to find it because I remember glancing over it, but apparently somebody was like literally sending dick pics to Sony devs to like harass them to get release dates on a game that was coming out, and I feel like this is probably the game that they were doing that for. But
I mean, that's one way to do it, I suppose.
Dick pics for release date?
I don't think that's how you do it, fam. But sure.
Imagine that
Whatever.
worked.
Maybe that's why they haven't done it, just to spite that one guy.
Gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
So that
It was
I'm
very weird.
still in the party of like, that game's probably not coming out this year, if I had to guess.
I'm assuming it's not.
Man, they
If it
gotta
does,
let me
great.
know, because I gotta finish God of 4.
And you're not gonna do it until you get a
I'm
date.
not gonna. If it's not coming out this year, I don't have to worry about it. You
Yeah.
gotta give me a date, guys.
It's like me with Hollow Knight. Like, I saw a Silk
Exactly.
Song trailer and I was like,
I need-
okay.
I need a deadline. I need that pressure.
Yeah. You need the
What if they like Beyonce Lemonade this shit and just like drop it next week?
pull in
Like, I
Apex
guess
Legends.
they could. No, I mean,
highly doubt it.
yeah.
I don't think so.
You'd think you'd want it ahead of time, because since it's coming out on like PS5, I mean, already, I guess PS5s are already so hard to get. You're not going to drive sales with it, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, they're already
Yeah.
maxed. They're already selling one a month. What else
Yeah.
can you do?
Exactly one.
Hey, GPUs are like, they were like on the shelf when I went to Micro Center the other day.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Like, still expensive. Also, I just read a story about how all the crypto crash stuff is
Oh, that's
causing
probably
miners to flood the
why.
market now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So prices coming back down.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good for PC builders.
Yeah.
Yep, I was just looking at upgrades for Allison's PC build, and it was very nice to look at graphics
Mhm.
cards that weren't ungodly expensive, and I was like, yeah, I could probably afford to put a 1080 in there or a 260 or something,
260.
or 2060, whatever.
I want to put a 260 in my rig. That's what I want.
It's so old.
Yeah. So God of War probably not coming out this year. A game that probably should be pushed back, but isn't so far. Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah.
They came out recently and said it's not an open world game after some criticism from fans.
From
Looks
everyone.
like an open world game.
It's open zone. It's totally
Oh.
different.
So
Very different.
Yeah.
Open
Open
zone. They've invented a new genre.
Yeah, it's where you have several open worlds instead of one,
Yeah.
which somehow
It's-
makes it not open world.
It's in between linear and open world, I guess. Like a middle
Yeah,
ground.
it's
So
such
sandbox, there's a word for that. It's called
No.
sandbox.
Yeah.
It's such a
Open
weird
zone.
defense, because I think the thing people don't have issue with, people aren't like, oh, an open world Sonic, that sucks, is that the gameplay they showed looks like ass.
It's that it
It
looks
looks
really bad.
Terrible. And they're
Doesn't
like, "Oh, it's
really
not
matter
open
if
world,
it's-
you don't get it.
Yeah, if it's an open world or if it's an open zone or if it's a linear game, it still looks bad.
It's terrible.
I don't know. The way I described it was it looks like a It looks like a fan project. Like somebody
Yeah.
just got access to UE5, pulled in some default assets, and plopped a Sonic model in it.
That is exactly what it
Very
looks like.
jarring look to the game.
Wasn't the last actually good Sonic game a fan project
Yes. Mm-hmm. It was
But,
a
like,
2D only, not made by
good one?
Sonic team.
anyway? Yeah.
Like, what's the last good game, like good Sonic game made by Sonic team? Honest question. Is it Colors? Generations? I don't know. And even then, I feel like people don't like the 3D Sonic. I don't know if anyone's ever liked 3D Sonic.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the Sonic Adventure games on like GameCube, right? People like
Yes,
those.
but like, even those, like, if you go back, those are really janky and kind of ass. Like a little bit ass. I don't know, man. I feel like after Sonic Mania, they should have been like, huh, maybe we just do that more. Like, do more of the stuff that's good instead of constantly doing random stuff that nobody likes. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm talking crazy.
Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. That counts, right?
That's the go-kart racing game?
Yeah, that has a
Yeah.
pretty good score on
I'm
Metacritic.
sure everyone loves Sonic Mario Kart.
Man,
Uh,
the only one rated anywhere near good is Mania.
yeah. Yeah, everyone
Sonic
likes
Boom: The
Mania.
Rise of Lyric has a 32 Metacritic.
Ooh,
Ooh. That's so bad.
that's really bad.
Sonic Boom. Okay.
Yeah, Sonic Generations 2011 that has a 77.
That's passing.
Not bad. Sonic
I know-
Colors 2010.
I've
78.
seen the speedrun for Sonic Boom. There's a bug
Yeah.
where if you double jump and then paused, it would reset your double jump.
Oh no.
So you could just infinitely jump and just go wherever you needed to go.
Nice.
Incredible.
What else have you been up to there, Alex?
Well, like I mentioned with the Steam sale, I just bought a bunch of fighting game stuff. I think this is where we get into Jake's.
I
Mhm.
have so many notes on fighting games.
Yeah, like for some reason Jake was on Discord and he was like, "Does anybody actually like fighting games?" And then somehow that spurred Jake and I to like buy all the fighting games
Yeah.
in existence.
Oh, you know what it was? The Humble store was having a sale on
Yeah.
fighting games.
Mhm.
And I was like, huh, interesting. Interesting. So I was looking and I was like, do I want to buy these if no one else wants them? And the answer was yes. The answer turns out was yes. So I played a bunch, and I'm just going to hit you guys with sort of some summary thoughts as someone new to fighting games.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go in order of least liked to most liked.
Okay. I like this.
So we're going to start with Street Fighter V, which is
Least
disappointing
liked.
because I like Street Fighter. Street Fighter V, there's some stuff in here that I don't like. So there's a tutorial. It's fine. It mostly just kind of shows you a few little combos for people. What's weird about the training mode is after you hit the combo once, it's like, okay, moving on to the next combo. And I'm like, whoa. I need to hit it like 5 times in a row before I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
So like, that's been really annoying. Every time I start a tutorial, I need to change like 5 options. That way it's not stupid. It also defaults to telling you the name of the move you need to do instead of the button combination. Which is like, if I'm in the tutorial, I don't know the name of the move, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what Manuki is. Like, I don't know. I don't know what button that is. So that was really annoying. I guess kind of backing up. A big thing of what I like about Street Fighter is that it's really simple. It's probably like, it's one of the more simple fighting games. Like, a long combo in Street Fighter is probably like 5 hits. Like, unless you're doing like a super move, it's pretty constrained. There's not a lot of like long juggle combos or anything like that. There's a really small number of like special moves you need to learn. So as someone who doesn't know how the fuck to play a fighting game, I go in, I learn how to do the fireball move, and I'm like, all right, I can play a little bit. I can push the buttons, and I can do the move. That's like the biggest plus. probably for Street Fighter. This is just kind of a short one, I guess. There's a story mode and like an arcade mode. The arcade mode is 4 fights.
Oh.
And it's got like some concept art, and they're like, Ryu likes to fight Ken. And then you fight Ken, and he's like, good fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, good job, you finished arcade mode. I'm like, this is stupid. Why even include this? It is worth noting they did add full story mode. It seems like it's really, really long. I only played a little bit of it because it's so long. But what's weird is it doesn't have like a difficulty setting. So like the first few fights, it's like just mash punch and you'll just get them. Like, good job, you got them. It's such a weird pick to me. I don't know. Maybe their AI just isn't very good.
I think they added that after the fact, right?
Yeah, you have to get it as DLC, but it's free DLC. But it doesn't download automatically. You have to go to the store and be like, yes, I want the free DLC, please. It's very weird. But the main reason I don't like this game is because it feels really stingy. So I bought the Championship Edition, which comes with all of the characters.
No.
It comes with most of the characters. There are still characters you need to buy in-game with in-game currency. And it's a huge amount of currency. It's like 100,000 Street Fighter bucks. I don't know. So like that's really annoying for like a fighting game. If I buy the deluxe edition, just fucking give me everyone, you know? I just want to play as Ulu or whatever the fuck, you know? Yeah. And then on top of that, there are some stages that even with the Championship Edition, I need to just buy with real money.
What?
Huh.
And like, why would I pay money for a stage in a fighting game? And B, why wasn't it in the Championship Edition?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's bizarre, but the
especially because that game's been out for a long time, and they've
just
done like
6.
They've done multiple iterations of different like subtitles. And Championship Edition is supposed to be like this is the one that you release at the end that has everything.
Right. No, because that's the other thing is they were really big on like seasons. Yeah. But you don't get if you buy a season pass, that doesn't get you all the characters. You fucking idiot! Are you joking? That gets you the first 4 characters. Then you need the season 2 season pass, and that'll get you like 4 more characters.
Yeah.
I hate that. I think that's ultra gross. Like, it's obviously just a way to milk more money out of your fighting game fans, because if you play Street Fighter, you're going to buy the new Street Fighter, and if you want to play the new characters, you're going to give them more money. I really don't like that. But the worst thing they did is when you start a match, by default, it plays like an ad. It like plays like a short ad. I think it's for like other Capcom stuff, so it's like a Capcom ad. But it's an ad before a fight. And they'll also like replace, or like they'll put, like I've seen like Guile, he'll have like a tattoo of an event they're advertising. Like in-game.
That's so weird.
You can go into the options and turn it off, but it's on by default.
That's weird.
That's so odd.
It's so gross. Like, I hate it. So, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is unacceptable. So, Street Fighter 5, a little gross. I kind of hope Street Fighter 6 is better. It's fine to play, I guess. It's still Street Fighter. I don't know.
Street Fighter 6 is supposed to be open zone, right?
Oh my god, dude. I guess we'll see. Maybe it'll be inspired by Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter is the majority of my fighting game experience. So
yeah,
that was
it's
Street Fighter 4.
Well, that's not true. Street Fighter 4 is I love Street Fighter 4. I was really bad at it, but I liked it a lot.
I played a lot of Street Fighter 4, and I played a lot of Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix.
HD Ultra Turbo Deluxe. Yeah. I played that game, the Street Fighter 2, whatever, for a while, and then I was like, okay, let's go online. And this dude literally just jumped from the far side of the map, jumped onto my head, hit me, and jumped back to the far side of the map until I died. And I was like, alright, guess we're done with online. So that was fun. That was really something. Anything else about Street Fighter before I move on? I don't know. I might be the only one who has Street Fighter 5.
I played a little bit of Street Fighter 5 when it came out, actually.
Really? Okay. I
Yeah.
think we got the base version in a humble monthly bundle.
Yeah, I actually already owned it at that point, so I gave that to Sam, so he owns it too.
Oh, great.
So we
the
can all play
Horizon
Street
tournament.
Fighter.
Oh, it's all coming together, baby.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Because Sam will occasionally want to play a fighting game with me for some reason. But it's not like we own fighting games. I don't know. So I gave him that.
We do. Now we do, baby. All right. So the next one on my list. I only have 4 of these. I promise. This one will be short. It's Tekken 7. I've played. This is probably the one I played the least of, so that probably explains why it's so low on the list. There's not even a tutorial. They were like, nobody plays the tutorial, so we didn't put one in. So as someone who wanted to learn how to play Tekken 7, I went, well,
rough.
Okay, I guess I'll guess. Whatever. It has a story mode though, which is a little tutorial-y, so it kind of splits the difference. Story mode's fine. I had fun with it. I haven't finished it yet, but a little bit I played is fun. The one thing it doesn't have a tutorial, but it has like a quick select almost. So if you're in a match and you hold L1, if you're playing with like a PlayStation controller, you hold L1 and it comes up with just like a quick select of special moves. So if you hold L1 and you hit triangle, you do like the triple punchy move, or like one of your character's special moves. And I'm like, that's so smart. As someone who doesn't know how to do special moves in fighting games, holding a button and getting access to 4 for free, I can actually like play a little bit with that, you know? I can be like, oh, if I hit them twice and then do that special move, I can do it without having to learn the hard mechanics of, quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, triangle, X, square. You know what I mean? Like, it lowers the skill floor a lot, which is really, really nice, without changing the skill ceiling at all. And I just thought that was like the smartest thing in the world. But
it sounds really good. I feel like it would lead to such bad habits being formed. Like if you actually wanted to try to get good at that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing I think it would be like a real taking off the training wheels moment.
Yeah.
Like, knowing me, I would have to probably unbind that button to stop relying on it. Because it's just me.
Dragon Ball Fighters has something similar. They have auto combos in that game.
Yeah.
So you just mash square and like it'll do like a crazy like 10-hit string with like a special move at the end of it.
Damn.
And you feel really cool doing it, but like you're never gonna learn how to actually play the game doing that.
You'll literally never get better because you just hit square.
Yeah.
But I mean, it probably does make it more approachable. Like if you just want to go in and do cool shit.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Dragon Ball just doing that. Like
sure.
And you still had to think about like positioning and like when you wanted to try to land that stuff. So there's like still kind of meta game going on.
You learn some basics, right? Kind of like zoning, approaching, that kind of stuff. So the last thing I had about Tekken 7 is kind of bouncing off the quick select. Part of why it's so good is because Tekken 7 has an absurd amount of moves. I looked and I counted for one character. They had 97 moves.
Yep.
I'm never going to learn a quarter of those. I will learn 3. Like, that's pretty much my limit, is learning how 3 moves work. And, like, some of them are like, oh, if you hold back and heavy punch, technically it's a unique move. But they list all of them. So, like, when you're playing a character and you're like, shit, how do I do the special move? You gotta scroll through 97 moves to find, like, a good one.
The quarter circle forward punch move. Like
I'm like, guys, like, cut some of these. They cannot all be winners.
Yeah. So in research for fighting games and other stuff I'm looking into, YouTube has started recommending me certain things. And the other day it recommended me a video called Don't Give Up on Fighting Games.
I watched the same video.
Did you watch it? It's like an hour long. It mostly focuses on Tekken.
I think it's about the guy who he originally played Street Fighter. He played Cammy.
Yep.
Okay, I did watch it. Yep.
Did you not realize it was that long?
I don't remember it being that long, but
it is 55 minutes long. So
Hey, that's not an hour. So yeah,
You
that's
just-
right.
You just cruise right on through it. Yeah, so I got recommended that video. Watch that. I'm like, YouTube's trying to tell me something here because,
Mhm.
don't give up on fighting games. There's a lot of interesting stuff in that, though, about specifically Tekken mostly, but
Mhm.
also wider, to fighting games. And he mentions the absurd move list in Tekken in that video. But then he
Right.
comes back to like after you've got like a lot of experience, you realize that you basically cull that list down to like
Right.
your bread and butter, like what you usually go to.
Yeah, you basically find the handful of moves that you actually like,
Yeah,
and
then
just ignore the rest.
you just like
Which-
keep those in your back pocket and know when you want to use them. And like that's like the gameplay loop with that game. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm checking it right now. I think Tekken 7 is the most played fighting game on Steam.
Really, that's surprising.
Well, okay, so SteamDB has kind of a weird definition of fighting games, so I'm
Mhm.
omitting a lot of them because I don't think Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order should count.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
when I was in the Steam sale and I went to the fighting game genre page
Mhm.
looking
Oh,
for
wow.
stuff to buy, and I saw Star Wars on there, I was like,
That's not right. Nice try, guys.
I mean, there is a Star Wars fighting game, I believe, but that is not it.
yeah, no.
So of what I would consider a proper fighting game, Tekken 7 is the highest.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no. Street Fighter V is within striking distance, about 600 below that, and actually Dragon Ball FighterZ is in there as well, in between. So good for that game.
Dragon Ball was like the biggest thing on the
Yeah, it
scene
was
for a
huge.
while when it came out.
I bet it did a lot of good for the fighting game community, because
Yeah.
I get the feeling that they are a very small community. But we're joining the ranks, baby.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
Tekken the one that has the big bear in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, it's got the big beaver.
it's also worth noting it's a 3D fighter, so
Yeah, that's true. It's the only one on my list that's a 3D fighter.
you can sidestep into the foreground or background.
Yeah, I don't really have any feelings towards it. I guess I prefer 2D.
Probably
Only because it's less for me to deal with.
Yeah.
But I feel like Tekken has kind of a boring art style. This isn't really relevant at all. I feel like the other ones are really stylish, and Tekken 7 is just kind of like, yeah, this is a guy.
Yeah.
He's got wing hair. This is the bear.
Tekken goes for the more realism approach, I think.
It's a weird thing to say when you can fight as a bear and a panda.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying though. Like, it's not Mortal Kombat which spoiler alert is my next game, where you can play as the four-armed guy and rip someone's arm off.
Yeah.
But like, you also do play as a bear sometimes,
Mhm.
or a robot who can take her head off.
Oh.
I don't know. It's fine. I don't know. I need to play Tekken more before I really have feelings on it. Anyways, Mortal Kombat. This has pretty good tutorials. They go really in depth. They tell you basically everything in the game. My only really complaint is that maybe they go too much in depth into the game. There's a tutorial just about frame data. And if you don't know what frame data is, I am happy for you. Because it's weird and confusing. It's basically how many frames of animation a move takes to do. And it's really, really important if you want to get like really good at fighting games. But if you're just getting into it, it's really overwhelming. Like, man, it's overwhelming. But I mean, not just that, right? Because Mortal Kombat's also like, if you get knocked on the ground, you can do a get up move, or you can roll backwards, or you can roll forwards, or you can get up and block, or you can like get up and jump and do this other thing. And then there's like 2 different meters you can manage. And then if you get low on health, you can do a certain special move. And then obviously it's got like fatalities and stuff. And there's so much that it tries to explain. And I just ignore most of it. It's too much. I don't like it.
It seems like you could take it in pieces. Like you do the first stuff that you need, the basics, and then play a bunch, and then come back later and
and do the advanced ones. That's probably what I should have done. I didn't, but I probably could have done that. I mean, going through these tutorials definitely did make me better. Like, I love, oh my god, there's a whole tutorial about if someone's just spamming projectiles, here's how you should deal with that. And I'm like, thank you, Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
My biggest complaint about fighting games addressed
Yeah.
within the game. Love that. Love it. It does kind of anti what I said about Street Fighter. This one is really combo dependent. Like, if you learn a good combo, you can get like 10 plus moves where the other person just does not get to play Mortal Kombat anymore.
Woof.
They're just getting juggled over here, and you can do like 3/4 of their health in a single combo. And it's like, man, I don't know how to do that. I can block. Like, that's the extent of my moves. Probably the biggest thing I like about Mortal Kombat is, of these games, it has the best single player content. There's a whole story mode with like pre-rendered cutscenes, and like the story's whatever. It's fine. It's stupid. The first mission is like you and your mom are part of a military like group, like an elite squad, and you invade hell to blow up the castle of zombie Liu Kang and Katana, who are like the king and queen of hell now. Like, literally, Raiden just shows them as like, you guys want to like go raid their castle? And it's like, yeah, sure, let's go to hell and blow them up. Whatever. It's wild. It's bonkers. But also, it lets you choose the difficulty right up front. The fights are, at least for the difficulty I'm on, challenging but fair. You get like a story progression. The fights make sense. There's cutscenes linking them together. It's not just like, hey, this is Katana. She doesn't use a katana, she uses fans. I know that's confusing. Anyways, she's fighting Goro. Good luck. Which, I like that a lot. It has... the Mortal Kombat games have had this for a while, but there's like a crypt mode where you earn currency as you play, and then you can spend to get like concept art and different like... I don't think... Mortal Kombat 11... Sorry, I know I'm kind of rambling all over the place. But I'm transitioning to something I don't like about this game. There's like items. You can like get different helmets and weapons for your guys, and I think they're just aesthetic, but they do get XP the more you use them. And I don't know what the XP does. And you can also get like consumable items, and I literally don't know what those do. I don't understand why they're in this game. I don't know what they could possibly do, but they're in there. And I think you can buy them with microtransactions. It's really weird. You can also buy easy fatalities, where at the end of the match is just like, okay, just push up an X and we'll do a fatality for you. And like you have to buy it with like real world money. And I'm like, I don't know why this is for sale.
That's weird.
I don't know.
I wonder if it's relevant to the tower mode or something. Like, it can't possibly be like giving you advantage and...
Yeah. You'd think they'd keep it out of multiplayer, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I do not like how microtransaction some of these fighting games are getting. Because Mortal Kombat also, it didn't call them seasons, but it did like character packs, which are just packs of 4 characters you have to buy. I don't know. I feel like I would rather just be like, here's the set with all the characters. Whatever. Maybe that'll come out later. Maybe I'm just being impatient. But, anyways, Mortal Kombat, it has the best single-player experience of any of these, which is why it's so high on my list. I like it a lot. And I've always kind of liked Mortal Kombat. It's kind of goofy and fun. I can dig it.
Confirm that stuff's not in online.
Okay.
There's in the single-player modes, you can like enhance your characters with augments.
It's still weird. That feels weird to me, but I don't know. I guess I haven't played those modes yet. If nothing else, I'm glad that it has so many single-player modes. I think that's great. I wish more fighting games had more of that stuff. On a related note, I've heard BlazBlue is really good for that, which is why I bought like 3 BlazBlue games on sale. Yeah. So I'm really excited to try that one, but it's not.
I bought those too. Yeah, I read that they're visual novels.
Yeah.
And like that they have story beats that break into fights, and you just do fighting game fights for those.
Just I'm kind of amazed I've not heard more about this because a visual novel fighting game. How did I not hear about this sooner? I feel like someone should have told me there's a fighting game that's actually a visual novel.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so up my alley, so I'm really excited to try those. And the tag team one has Ruby characters and Persona characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Where have I been? What am I doing?
Even I knew about that, Jake. I don't know what you've been doing.
Oh man, I don't know. Living under a rock, apparently.
Clearly.
Yeah, you should get cross tag battle, Caleb, and then we can all do fight
You
night.
should. Oh my god.
It is $5.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
The one
It's
with the Ruby
$5.
characters.
And then the pack with all the DLC is also $5. So, like, the Ultimate Edition is $10, which is what I bought, because the bonus characters, each pack has a Persona character in it, and I was like, oh my god, it has, like, Persona 3 characters. Nobody except me likes Persona 3. Okay. Last one, I promise. I know I'm probably boring Owen to tears, but Guilty Gear Strive. Guilty Gear Strive is so fucking cool, dude. It has the best tutorial of any of these by a long shot. It does the same thing with Mortal Kombat where it breaks everything down, but I feel like it has really simple mechanics. It's got a move called a Roman cancel, and it just does everything. Like, if you're getting, like, juggled really hard, you press Roman cancel, you do, like, a burst move, and it just knocks the other guy away, so you can stop being comboed to death. If you're just standing around, you push it, it slows down time, so you can do a cool move. If you swing and you miss, you do a Roman cancel, and it cancels your recovery, so you can't get the shit beat out of you for whipping a grab. Like, it just does everything. It's
Why is
so
Can you just
good.
spam it all the time?
No, you have a meter. You have a meter
Okay.
for it. So you can only do it so many times. But what I love is, like, because the most frustrating thing in a fighting game, in my opinion, is when you're just getting bodied, you know? Someone started a combo, and you just don't get to play the game anymore. But now, you push Roman cancel, and maybe you don't die in one combo. You have, like, a chance to push a button or two. I think it's so good. They also have, I don't remember the actual name. I'm just going to call it the Bounce-O block. But it's where it eats your meter as well, but you put up like a shield, and whenever they hit you, they get pushed further away. So if someone's just like wailing on you while you're blocking, you can turn on your deflector shield or fucking whatever, and it'll push them away so you get a little bit more space, and you can maybe do a move instead of just getting like pummeled into a corner. Which is so great. I think that's so smart. I love it so much. It has probably the worst single-player stuff. Well, I don't know. Street Fighter is probably close. Street Fighter has a long story mode now, though, so it probably wins. Guilty Gear, it's just got an arcade mode. It's like 5 fights, something like that. And like technically there's a story. Oh, there is a story mode. I lied to you. There is a story mode, but it's 4 hours of anime. And it's not good anime. It uses the in-game system, so it's not particularly well animated. And so far, I only watched maybe like 20 minutes. It's all exposition. It's like 2 people walk up and they talk, and then 2 other people come up and they talk, and then this guy's riding in a car with the president and they're talking. And I was just like, okay, I get it. I'm done. I'm out. It was
and
fun,
you eventually
but I'm
fight
done.
somebody, right?
No. No, it's 4 hours of anime.
Oh
There's
my
no
gosh.
fighting in the story mode.
Interesting.
It is just anime. And it's 4 hours. Not exaggerating, 4 hours. I don't know what possessed them to do it. I don't know. Like, take the time you spent on that and make an actual single-player mode for me to play.
Do I get to
know.
learn the deep lore around Soul Bad Guy, though?
Yeah, you could learn about Saul Bad Guy. Who is the good guy?
Does the 4 hours explain why one of them seems to have some sort of move that has a dolphin?
I don't think she's in the story mode. I don't think
man.
May's included. There is
I
a character named...
I just
Tatsugeki.
saw a screenshot of that and I was like, this intrigues me. I would like to beat someone up with a dolphin.
It is. I mean, she just has an anchor. She just holds an anchor in one hand. Like,
How
probably
pop
the
punk of
thing
her.
this game does best is just the style.
Yeah.
I love the art style. The characters all have really fun, unique designs. There's this big black guy who's a vampire, and he's got a katana. And if he uses too many moves, he goes into like blood overdrive, and it just drains all of his health. It's crazy. There's a big German guy who's like a robot. He's like a tank. I don't know what his deal is. There's a chick who's got a persona, not a persona, a stance.
Oh,
And she just does like karate with her spirit wolf. I fucking love her. She's so fun.
sick.
Yeah, the character designs seem really cool in that
Yeah,
game.
it's
The
easily the best thing about the game.
the dolphin move is like the biggest meme to come out of this game, I think.
Absolutely.
It spawned like other things. Like there's an entire you can play Mario 64 as
Oh, yeah.
her,
Yeah.
and like the jump is like you use the dolphin.
Hmm.
It's the move is called Totsugeki, I think, and then there's actually so. Have you noticed when you start Guilty Gear Strive, it takes like an hour to actually get into the game?
Yeah.
It's real bad.
Yeah, it does have a very slow. Connecting to its network is very hard for it. I don't know why.
So there's like this thing you can download from some GitHub page called Totsugeki, right?
Uh-oh.
It
Okay.
Totsugekis around the network connection stuff. It speeds up the the starting of the game.
Okay, I love that so much. That's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so I guess like the way that they coded it was it asks for like a whole bunch of responses from the server,
Mhm.
and it does it like like thousands of times, and it takes a long time to get all the responses. And I don't know why it does that, but like this
Yeah.
mod will change it to where it like just gets all the stuff it needs and doesn't ask for it like 1,000 times for whatever reason.
Well, what's weird is because then you also have to like connect to a fight. Like it's not like you load into the game and it's like, okay, you're in matchmaking. It's like you load into a fight and then you're in a menu and you have to go to the lobby to find someone to fight.
Yeah.
Weird. There's a weird energy there. The last thing I want to say about this is the soundtrack's amazing. It's just got a really good soundtrack. And I was curious because I was listening to it, just on its own while I was working. I was like, man, the soundtrack fucking slaps. I gotta find out who did it. And it turns out it's by the guy who created Guilty Gear.
Oh.
Oh.
He wrote all of the story, designed the characters, and composed the music.
Dang.
And for a lot of the games, he was the voice of Saul Bad Guy. Like, he's Guilty Gear, and he did all the
He's-
music.
Yeah, wow.
It's crazy. It's so cool. I was so excited when I learned about it, because, like, there's so much stuff in video games, so just to find one guy who was like, yeah, no, it was just all me. I just did it all.
I wonder how good he is at the game.
I
Like, I wonder
probably
if he's
doesn't have time
also
to play it.
competitive on top of everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be cool if he was. I feel like it's kind of poor manners, though, to design a game and then dominate at it.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure. I just don't know why you would put forth all the effort to do that much for a fighting game.
If
But
you're
then
not,
not-
like, way into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, but then, like, I don't know, because, like, if you go to the, like, a pro scene, at least to my knowledge, there's not, like, the inventor of Street Fighter,
No.
Ryu Street Fighter isn't the #1 Street Fighter guy.
Yeah, I always assume that stuff is like, it's so corporate at this point. But hearing that it's
Yeah.
like one dude that
It's
does the
one guy.
majority of
To be fair, my
decisions around
impression
Guilty
is that
Gear.
he's not, like, a coder. It seems like
Yeah.
he does a lot of the artistic stuff. But still, like, to find that he did all of this stuff, I was blown away. I thought that was so fucking cool.
and also can compose music.
Yeah! Like, really good music, too. It's not just like, oh, he did, like, an 8-bit soundtrack for the game. It's
Yeah.
like, no, it's got vocals and guitars and drums, and it fucking slaps. And it was all one guy. He doesn't play it, he just composed it, but still. Fucking awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
So cool.
Now, you've mentioned 4 different fighting games here that you have ranked.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know that there's a 5th, and I want to know where the 5th lands in this
What's the
rank
5th?
system. Where's Blaze Blue?
I've not played Blaze Blue.
Okay.
We talked about it a little bit. I just bought some of them, but I've not played any of them.
I need to know, where that is, because if it's anywhere in your top 2 or 3 there, I think I may join you and Alex in there, just because I gotta play with my girl Weiss and kick someone's ass.
I mean, it's literally $5.
Yeah. So,
And I mean,
So we want to do like a Horizon fight night at some point.
now that I'm still moving.
We're gonna get
sort of.
destroyed by you and Jake.
yeah, okay.
I
mean, I'll
we'll
do
see
it.
about that. I think it'll be some. I'm
Jake's
really
over here
excited. I think
actually
it'll be
learning.
fun.
I'm like playing Hollow Knight for 6 hours a day, so
I mean, it'll end up
I don't
being
know.
like how, like, I've spent 30 some hours or whatever in Neon White, and Chad just shows up, spends 2 hours, gets like world record times, and walks away.
But
I think it'll be a good time. I'm really excited to try to set that up.
if we can settle on like a cheap game that a lot of the people that wouldn't usually play would play with us, it might be the one with the Ruby characters. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Man.
one with the Ruby and Persona characters is it's a real seller. Not gonna lie.
We can also play some other games too, but mixing it
I
up with
have enough. I'll play anything. A bunch of us did end up getting Strive.
yeah. So we'll probably play some Strive at some point,
Yeah.
but maybe get some BlazBlue in there, get some cross tag battle.
I mean, the nice thing, if we start doing this and we enjoy it, we could just be like, hey, it's Guilty Gear Night, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we can stream it. Oh my god, it's perfect. Everyone gets it. It's gonna be great. You guys are gonna love it. And if you don't like fighting games, I'm really sorry I wasted like an hour of your time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We didn't have a ton to talk about this.
Yeah.
podcast, and
no,
so we
it's
decided
fine.
to just talk about fighting games for a long time. Speaking of fighting games, I've also been really looking into like building an arcade stick, except for
Yeah.
like not with a stick,
Mm-hmm.
an all button control surface. They call them Hitbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a company that makes them called Hitbox. Is how they got popularized, but they sell them and they're like $250.
God.
It's insanity. So I've been looking into like what I can do to like make my own, because it doesn't seem that hard. You just need like some sort of box or surface that you can like drill holes in and put arcade buttons,
Yeah.
and you need like the brains to run it.
Yeah, $200 seems crazy. Because it
Yeah.
feels like, you get like a Raspberry Pi and some buttons.
Yeah,
and
so
that's kind of it.
there's like there's a lot of levels to the DIY scene I've been looking into. There's Brook, this company called Brook makes a lot of boards that you can put into DIY fight sticks. And some of the just like the control boards are like $100+ sometimes.
I see. Okay.
So it depends on what you're getting there. They do make like one that's fairly cheap. There's one that's $25 that you can
Okay.
wire up. But if you want to go like mega cheap, I think the way I'm gonna go is I'm gonna buy a Raspberry Pi Pico,
Okay.
which is $4,
Yeah.
and flash it with this firmware that this guy made. It is, if you want to look it up, it's called GP2040. It's on GitHub, and it's just specifically made to control arcade sticks. And all of the pins on the Pico are mapped to like a specific controller input, and you just wire buttons to those pins.
Yeah. That
it's-
sounds about right to me.
Yeah, so I mean, the most expensive part is going to be getting buttons. Like, if you want nice buttons, like Sanwa are kind of like the standard Japanese arcade buttons.
Okay.
They're like $2.50 a button or something like that.
Oh. I mean, you don't need that many?
No.
6?
So you could
6
do
to
like
10, I guess?
you could do like a 6-button stick. I'm trying to do the hitbox thing, so there's also 3 for
Right.
left, down, and right, and then 1 for jump, which is up.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of the way the hitbox works is your left hand, your pointer, middle, and ring finger are doing left, down, and right, and then your thumb is below on up. So you basically can jump with your thumb and then control your directions with your other fingers. And
It's
it
like
makes
a spacebar jump at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spacebar jump at that point, and it makes like special inputs like quarter circles and stuff like that, like really fast,
Sure.
because you can like kind of roll your fingers across like the right to down button and then up, and it just kind of does it. When they first came out, like people like kind of went crazy for them. A lot of people switched from traditional sticks to hitboxes. I don't know why nobody ever thought of it until that point.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems kind of obvious in hindsight to do. Like, it would have been cheaper in the arcade days to just have
Yeah.
buttons. But I guess there is something about, like, the arcade stick that's very fun.
Yeah, and the stick is like I think there's less of a mental barrier between
Sure.
trying to figure out what a movement is and then doing it on a stick, because
Sure, I guess a quarter circle forward with an arcade stick is probably pretty easy as well.
but it's so much faster to tap buttons than try to like move a stick around.
Sure.
It's crazy. So I'm looking into doing that. I'm gonna have to figure out how to solder. But yeah, I mean, it's like I'll probably do like an 8-button thing, and then like 12 buttons total on the top,
Wow.
and maybe like a start and select on the back side of it or something like that.
All
It'll
right.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, you should, I mean, if you wanted to film the process, that'd be a really cool video for the Horizon.
Oh yeah, no, that'd
Maybe.
be dope.
Yeah. I have to
Or
figure out how
at
to.
least you should at least post pictures of the finished product.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know what? I think I know the answer to this. But is there a reason you want a hitbox rather than just using your keyboard? Because a lot of it sounds like it could just be done on a keyboard. Or is it just because it's fucking cool? Because that's acceptable. I'm just curious.
It's mostly just because it's cool. I don't know.
No, that is absolutely fair. Because we talked about it, and I actually switched from trying to use a controller, which was hurting my thumbs like crazy, trying to roll the D-pad, to using a keyboard, and I was like, oh, this is so much better. Like, so much better.
What do you actually use for your controls then? Are you doing like a hitbox style?
I think so. So I basically got WASD. Rather than using space as jump, I just use W.
Okay, so you are doing like traditional then.
Yeah, and then I've got like HJKL is usually like, you know, those buttons, and so it depends on the fighting
Punches
game.
and the
Like
kicks.
for some that's enough, but on other ones I also need YUIO for like whatever the fuck else they want me to do.
Guilty Gear has like you can put so many buttons in there for Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
They've got like dust. They've got
dust moves. The
you
Roman
can assign
cancel.
a button to Roman cancel. You can assign a button to dash, like instead of like double tapping.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do like instant air dashes where you like jump and then hit the dash button.
Do it immediately.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy because the default control for Roman cancel is pushing 3 attack buttons at once. And on the controller, I was like, that is impossible. I cannot possibly do that. But on keyboard and mouse, I'm like, oh, obviously I can do that.
And it translates to like a stick. Like you do the same thing there. Like
right. You just push your fingers are already on all of the buttons. You just push them all.
Yeah,
so that's pretty really cool.
Like that mixed with like, as much as it is kind of like the keyboard, I think it still will be a little bit easier on an actual stick layout. It's like a little bit less cramped, if anything. Yeah,
you've got. You're not going to get lost on your keyboard like I do sometimes, where I'm like, am I on J or am I on U right now?
I would look into, instead of WASD, try if you put like left down right on WEF, as weird as that sounds, and then putting up on your spacebar.
Why WEF? I don't like that. I already don't like this.
Because it's like, I don't know, that's like the natural position my hand goes to. When
my brain's too dumb for WEF. It's not going to happen.
I don't know, it's just something to think about, because that emulates the position of the hitbox more if you were just strictly trying to do like emulate that on a
So
keyboard.
is W and F forward and backwards, and E is down?
E is
Or is that
down,
down?
yeah.
E is down. Okay.
Spacebar
That
would
is
be
weird.
I don't like it. Don't like it.
up.
I tried it. I decided I don't like it.
It's the same as like ASD, except for it's WEF, you know. And then
Yeah,
you
but I
move
don't like that.
up
I don't like
to
it.
below on your thumb.
Don't like it. Mm-mm.
It's weird. It is weird.
I'm lost until I die.
Yeah.
But I think that's the end of our fighting game stuff. So Owen, you can come back.
Sorry
I
about
mean,
all
I
that.
found some of it very fascinating, but it was a lot.
I know. Well, I wanted to give like an overview because I feel like I just came into it and we needed to fill a lot of time. So you're welcome.
Yeah, no, I think we did it,
You're
and I
welcome.
think that you definitely steered me away from the Street Fighter series, so I thank you for that.
I-
At least.
I think we should
really
all
hope
buy
6
Street
is
Fighter
better.
6 when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean,
Nah,
hopefully it's
Yes,
good.
Caleb.
I'll pass.
Everybody
You know-
gets in on the ground floor. Everybody's got equal skill.
I
Except
don't
for the
know if
people
it's
who
a
have been
ground.
playing
Yeah,
fighting games for.
I was
over
gonna
a
say I don't
year
think that's
since
a
then.
ground floor.
You know, I'm sorry, before we move on, there's something to say about the meta of like the fighting game as a game.
The
It is a
meta of
competitive-
fighting games.
It is a competitive game that you solely rely on yourself
Mhm.
to get like good at
To
and get better. And there's also not, it's like just your pure skill at the game. There's no like, you know,
There's no
stuff you can
RNG.
buy. There's no RNG. There's no teammates that you can blame. There's no, you know, the enemy had a smurf. Like maybe they're still smurfing in fighting games sometimes. I don't know. But it's just you versus one dude.
Mm-hmm. And are you better than them? You're
Yeah.
better than them.
Here's the thing. With a quick Google search, I have debunked the fact that there is not a meta for these games of what characters are better than others. So
Well, I don't think that's what he's saying is that they're all perfectly balanced. I think what he's saying is that like you're not going into a game like sometimes you get into a game of Overwatch and it's like, oh, this guy just wants to play Torbjorn, hammer only.
yeah.
We lose. I guess I'm gonna waste 20 minutes of my life. You load up a fighting game and like, yeah, that guy may be like way better than you and you're gonna lose. But you get to like you can try, you know, it's just you. If you
Yeah.
can pull it out, you can pull it out. You're
There
not
is
getting gimped by something else or carried by someone.
yeah, there is definitely something to be said about having a single player multiplayer experience, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Of, you know, you're not relying upon a team or RNG.
Mhm.
You are relying upon your skill and what
There
is made in the game. That is fair. That is a very good point.
There's not very many of those nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you even look at like a lot of first-person shooters, right? Which is another one where you think like, oh, if you're doing like free for all, that's very like skill-based, but it's also like, where did you spawn? Did you get to the rocket launcher? And Battle Royale's just amplify that effect, right? It's like, did you find the sniper rifle? Yes. Okay, you might win. Did you not? Okay, you got sniped from 5 million yards away. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here, you know, you go in, you have all 97 moves right when you load in. Can you use them better than the other guy?
And then you can like look even if you lose, you can look at it and be like, all right, well, why did I lose? Like,
Right. Yes.
what can I improve on?
Going back and being like, what did I do wrong? It's not like an Overwatch game, you know? I keep going back to Overwatch because that's like the only other
Yeah.
open quotes competitive game I've played where it's like, well, that Widow just shot me 50 times. I don't know. And my Reinhardt was jerking off in the corner. You know, I don't know what I could have done about that.
Yeah.
But you go into a fighting game, it's like, oh, he kept using this one move. And if I backed up or if I blocked like this or I jumped, I could have like dodged it and counterattacked.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like one of the more appealing things about it.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's kind of what makes them interesting. Is that sort of like back and forth looking for improvement, kind of.
Fair enough.
Okay. Now we're safe.
Now
We can
we're
move on.
definitely done for
Now
sure.
we're
Double
definitely
for
done.
sure.
Uh-huh.
Until we do our first fight night, then we're gonna talk about it for another 3 hours.
Mhm.
We've been spending some time this week at least watching. All of us together have been watching some GDQ, some games done quick.
Oh yeah.
And so figured that we would take a minute to talk about some of the speedruns that we've been watching, because not only are fists very fast, but also these people that play this game are extremely fast. And it's just insane to watch some of them happen. If you haven't watched any of the GDQ stuff, you should find a game that you like, watch a run of it. There are some announcers that seem to be very good at making even some of the dullest games very interesting. I quite enjoyed watching the Vice City speedrun, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, even though like I really don't remember much of the game or have any real connection to it, other than I played it once years ago. The guy that was doing it was absolutely hilarious. He was making jokes left and right about what he was doing, and it was a good time.
It's all about finding like a runner who's got a good sense of humor, and like having the couch. For anyone who doesn't know, the couch is usually like people who are not playing the game who will describe what's going on in the game. So that way the person who's like playing can actually like focus on it. Having like quality commentators is so important, and GDQ usually does a very good job of having good commentators.
Yeah, I think I've watched more GDQ this time than any time before, because
Really?
I don't think I really got it before, because in my mind I'm like, none of these are going to be the world record, right? So what does it matter?
Yeah. No,
true.
I'm there with you. I was thinking the exact same thing of like
Like if I wanted to watch a speedrun of whatever that game is, I would go look up the best one, right? And watch that.
Jake has been a huge proponent of this for years now, and he always talks about them. And so eventually I've started like watching a couple, and just seeing the creative ways that they break the games. And you're like, I don't know who sat around and thought about doing this thing in this corner to be able to do whatever to like, but someone did, and so now it's a thing that they just all do to like be able to just fly through. Like I watched the Mass Effect one, and they were just like, oh yeah, if you just like, if you're on the Citadel and you go here and you press this button, you do this, you glitch out of the map, and then if you just keep falling through the map, you end up on the spaceship. And I was like, how the fuck did you figure this out?
Yeah, man. I think, to me, the biggest benefit of GDQ, and why I don't tend to watch non-GDQ speedruns, is GDQ speedruns do a really good job of explaining what is happening.
Yeah.
Like, they'll actually be like, here's what we just did, here's why he fell through the map, and why we want to do that. Whereas if you just watch, like if you literally just pull up the world record speedrun, a lot of times it's someone sitting in silence, playing the game. Like, a lot of times I watch speedrun, I'm like, oh, there's no commentary. It is just silence.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, sure, you know, you get to see the world record, but also sometimes they do stuff and you're like, I don't know.
You're like, they did something and somehow they're now on the other side of the map. Whereas, like, you know, if they during GDQ, they are at least able to tell you, just be like, oh, because of the fact that I'm not accepting this mission yet, it still thinks that I'm over there. And so then I can go over here and do this thing. And so that way, when I'm done doing this thing, I can just press this button and I'll warp to the other side of the map and be done. And you're like, wow, that's really fucking
that's so
smart.
clever. Yeah. No, I love that shit.
Yeah, the commentators really add a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like with Tunic, the fucking developers thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen that at GDQ, but that was really fun.
That's pretty
They
cool.
actually had Andrew Schultes on, and he's like pretty much the one-man band that made Tunic. He
Yeah.
had some outside help for certain things, music, stuff like that, but
Although one of those guys was also there, right?
yeah, I think the music or the sound design guy maybe.
That sounds right.
It seems to always be him and the sound design guy are the two that end up like doing a lot of
vast majority of
the game.
Tunic was just made by Andrew, so really cool to have him on there. And they kept on talking about really cool stuff like, yeah, we knew about this bug, but we left it in because we knew speedrunners would like it, and it wasn't that big of a deal. Or like, we actually put a sword in this secret area outside of where you're supposed to get the sword, specifically for speedrunning.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that
Yeah,
was all really cool.
That was so cool to hear. I know
yeah.
it's not GDQ, but IGN will do ones where developers react to speedruns
Yeah.
of their games.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, I don't like them necessarily as much as GDQ, but sometimes it's really fun. I saw one with the developers of A Hat in Time, and at the very end, it comes up to this animation, and the guy who had worked on all the animations for the game was like, "This is my favorite animation in the game, like, get ready." And they just skip it, and he was like, "No!" He was, like, crushed, because he, like, just said, he was like, "This is my favorite animation of the game. I worked so hard on it," and they just skip it, and he was like, "Oh!"
That's really funny.
Absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing about GDQ is you just end up watching games that you would never ever watch. Like I watched they always do like weird stuff too. So like I watched a Pokemon run that was like Emerald version, but it was like a randomizer. So all of the items and Pokemon spawns were random. But also on top of that, it was like they named it like Evolution Madness. So like every time your Pokemon leveled up, it would evolve into a different Pokemon, and that was random.
How
And
long did this run?
It was like 3 hours or something.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It was a long time, but they did it. It wasn't. They didn't do any glitches or anything. They started with a starter, and then like every time it leveled, they would just get a new random Pokemon from it. And sometimes it would be amazing, and sometimes it'd be terrible. And also, they did the run co-op, so they were swapping between 4 different people playing.
What?
And also, all 4 of them had control the entire time, even when it wasn't their turn. So sometimes they'd be on the mock bike trying to navigate a section of the game, and somebody would hit right just to screw somebody. And like,
wow,
it was pretty entertaining. Like it was mostly a funny run.
Sounds awesome. I mean, obviously that's not like, it doesn't even really sound like a speed run. It sounds like a challenge run, but still.
Yeah, I don't. Super weird. Like, but that's nothing I would ever find outside of GDQ.
I watched it was a Hulk Hogan FMV game.
Yeah, that sounded fun.
It's a horrible speed run. They do almost nothing fast, but it is hilarious. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been pretty solid, and plus, like, the entire point of it is to raise money for Doctors Without Borders, so it's like a good cause to watch and donate and just kind of hang out. And it's been really nice that we've had the chat this year, that we've been kind of commenting on the runs as they've been happening and chatting with each other, and so that's been really nice. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Also, things that we've been checking out in the film/TV world of things, Netflix has decided that they wanted to show up to the streaming party apparently this month. And they dropped both Umbrella Academy and Stranger Things. And I watched both of them in the past few weeks here. Yeah. More of good content. Thank you, Netflix. You know, Umbrella Academy is good. It's always been
Owen
good.
Stamp of good.
Not fine. Not fine. It's good.
It's good. You know, Stranger Things season 4, good. They weirdly didn't release the last 2 episodes until this weekend of the season. And I think that's a really good idea, because it gave people a time to be able to kind of like watch it, to like catch up of what's going on, or be like, oh yeah, you know, like I can't really watch it now, but maybe I can watch it in like a week or 2. And so it's been really nice that like that's what happened with me and Allison, is we didn't watch it when it first came out, but we have been able to watch it before these last 2 episodes, because we like literally finished it last week. And
it
so
also means, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's perfect, because now we're ready for the last 2 episodes to drop, and we're not missing out, and we're not being spoiled of whatever's going to happen.
That's exactly what I was going to say, yeah. Is that it means that the big finale doesn't get spoiled on day 1, right? You have
exactly
a little bit of time to watch it. I still haven't, and I'm probably not going to. I'm probably just going to get it spoiled for me. But it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, like I had some stuff spoiled for me since I didn't, I was on the Twitters and people were making memes of what's been going on in the show, but
Yeah.
it's not the ending. And so
Right.
even though, like they're like, oh man, that thing with Max, and you're like, oh man, but it's nice to be like, okay, well, I don't know what the end is going to be like. I don't know if something big's going to happen. I think someone's going to die.
my
But like
God.
actually, and not just be sent to Russia or die off screen and come back later.
Hey,
So
like 2 people have died in Stranger Things. 3, 1 in each season that I can think of.
yeah, what
So
Bob,
Bob. It's always a B name, isn't it? Who's in the 3rd season?
Billy. It's
Billy?
always a
Billy?
B
Oh
name.
my gosh.
Stranger Things.
So
What are
wait,
you guys doing?
who's currently got a B
Who's
name that's
B?
alive?
I have no idea. I haven't watched the 3rd or 4th season. That's crazy that it was actually always a B.
Yeah,
Are they
that's
gonna
crazy.
start? Are they gonna start calling Will Bill or something like
Yeah,
that?
right.
Because-
Like, literally, like, the last scene, they're gonna be like, hey, Bill, and he's gonna be like, my name's Wet and dead. They just kill him.
Yeah.
Like, he was Bill in this scene.
Ah,
No
damn.
chance.
I wonder if the split up of the season was like an experiment by Netflix to like retain people. I know that they've been like hemorrhaging a lot of
Mhm.
subscribers,
Yeah.
and
Well,
their
you
valuation has
definitely-
gone down a lot recently.
You definitely get 2 months out of it rather than one. You
Yeah,
get like
it's true.
we dropped everything on the first of that month, and then you get the rest of it the first of the next month. So you gotta pay 2 month subs for
Yeah.
that.
I bet they get a lot of people who, Stranger Things drops. They subscribe for a month, watch all of it, drop it the very next month.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I did
Yeah.
with Game of Thrones.
I will say the thing that I've liked the most about this season, and I hope that this isn't too far into spoilers. I don't really think it is.
That means it probably
Probably
is.
is, knowing you.
Bill
Okay, well
dies.
let me gloss through it then. The main bad thing is a named person in the D&D universe.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh my god.
And
It's Katie
that's
Palin.
that's cool. And like, because I was sitting there and they're like talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's so and so, it's so and so," and I'm just like, "Wait a second, I fucking know that name." And like, I like go over to, because I've been playing the like D&D Magic the Gathering crossover sets, and I have the card of
Oh my god.
of the person, and so I'm like, "Wait a second, I
Is
know
it-
this."
Is it Blue Eyes White Dragon?
And so it's really cool to like see that, and then like I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." I'm able to like look at the like
Think
Dungeons and Dragons like wiki page on that character.
I think that's been the case for the rest of them too, right? So like you got like the Demogorgon. That's a real D&D thing.
They've
Mind
been
Flayer.
The Mind
well.
Flayer
Yeah,
is a real
they've
D&D
been
thing.
real D&D monsters, but to have like an actual
A
named,
named character. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
was really cool, and to
That's
be
neat.
able to like the motivations of that character in the Forgotten Realms is very similar to the actions and the motivations of the character here. And so it's not just like, oh yeah, they do a similar thing, or they look the same, or they fight the same. Like the fact that it's even more than that, of just being like, this person thought this thing, and when you start learning about the bad person in Stranger Things, you're like, oh, they're running on the same thought process. And
Stranger
I was like,
Things is secretly a D&D show the entire time.
it
Like,
I
really
mean, not
is.
even secretly though. Like,
Yeah.
it's been in every season.
but like, so season 5 is going to be the final season. Like, what if they go into the D&D world in season
I mean,
5?
fuck
It's
yeah.
just a D&D movie.
Yeah.
What if we like come out from the table and we see that it's just people been playing a D&D game the whole
Yeah,
time?
it's, the
Last
camera
episode of season
zooms
5.
out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a good twist.
That'd be
That's a
that'd be a
stupid twist.
crazy
Yes,
twist.
it's true.
That'd be so dumb.
It's
just-
actually, it zooms
just
out,
the-
but it is the characters from the show
Mm-hmm.
sitting around the table.
Yeah.
And some of them have died, but they're still there.
Oh, I thought
Because
they
they're-
were at the table. They
their
just
characters-
seasons,
Their
but-
characters died, but they're
Yeah.
there because it was just their character.
Barb's just sipping some beer in the back, flicking everyone off, just being
I
like,
absolutely- I thought for sure you meant that it would zoom out and you would see all the characters there, but Will's just dead. It's like unexplained.
Yeah.
If
Everyone
you
else
die
is
in the
fine,
D
but
and D,
Will
you die in
died.
real life.
It's just unrelated. In the game, Will was fine, but in the real world, Will died. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And the last season's a murder mystery.
Ooh.
I'd watch it. It's the plot of Knives Out too.
Sick.
It's all coming together.
The cast list for Knives Out 2 looks insane.
I don't think I know who's in it.
Because
Is
they
James
did.
Bond still in it?
Yep, he's
Cool,
there.
good.
Catherine Hahn is there, which was the one that I noted because I was like, "Oh, this is just gonna be good." We've got Catherine Hahn, and there was like a bunch of other very famous actors that I was like, "Oh, okay, damn!" Like, they're not pulling any punches on episode 2. You know, on the second installment. They're really
Edward
going
Norton
for
in
it.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
be
Edward
fair,
Norton. Yep.
I mean, I fucking loved Knives Out.
Yeah.
That movie
was a
was
great
great.
movie.
I had so much fun with that.
Yeah.
A Netflix show that should be throwing more knives.
What?
Oh no! Oh man! No, I'm sorry. I thought I fucking lost you guys there.
But,
No, I was
you
gonna say
did lose
You lost.
I am lost.
no. I was gonna say a Netflix show that's been throwing more knives has been Umbrella Academy.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good
Bam.
one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Back to that, and it's good. It's Umbrella Academy. I love what they did with Elliot Page's character. They were just like, yeah, the character is also transitioning, so they go from Vanya to Victor.
Does it follow the third book at all? They've been pretty liberal with that stuff, but I'm
Yeah.
curious if any of Hotel Oblivion made
I
it.
haven't. So here's the thing: is I haven't read the third book. I've only read the first two. Yeah, because
I loved this series so much. You're
I
the one who
do-
got me into it.
I do really love the series. I haven't picked up the
There's
third
three
book
of
for
them.
some
There's
reason.
3 of them.
I know.
Well, I can tell you it at least somewhat follows it based on you saying Hotel Oblivion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that there is in fact a Hotel Oblivion that they go to. So
I will say, as the one here who has apparently read all the books and isn't named Owen, the Hotel Oblivion was my least favorite book.
Oh.
I was not particularly impressed. I was actually pretty disappointed by it. Because I thought the first 2 books were... I mean, they're not, like, amazing, but I thought they were really fun. I thought they had really cool ideas. I mean, the second one's all about killing JFK. And how do you not love that? That's fucking crazy. Like, the whole second season of the Netflix show is like, what are they going to do about the JFK thing? Because I don't think the main characters can kill JFK. That feels bad.
yeah,
There's only 3 books.
There's only 3 books
So
far. They're
series
making
ending?
another one.
I mean, they've been so liberal with the books in the Netflix series. Like, it has barely followed it. Like, obviously the JFK stuff is a little bit in there, but it's way different.
Mm-hmm.
The first season,
The first season is vastly different.
Yes. Am I right in saying Hazel and Cha-Cha aren't until book 2? Am I misremembering that?
I think so.
I don't know why I'm asking you. I have a bookshelf next to me. One second.
Yeah.
Hazel and
think
Cha-Cha
that
were the
you're
best.
right.
I miss them.
Yeah, but like it is definitely a thing that it's like they went various different ways early on, and I think that this is getting a little bit closer because they have mentioned, at least like the Netflix showrunners have mentioned, they were like, hey, we know what's happening in the next book, so that way we can make the next season.
Oh, they're
And
pulling
so
Game of
I don't know
Thrones.
if that's telling them, hey,
Whoa,
we're doing it
whoa,
together
don't
or
say
not.
that.
Let's not say that. They've been so liberal that they're like, oh, we have the general idea. I'm like, that's enough. Because they barely followed the books. Like, in this one, the second book, Rumor kills JFK.
Mm-hmm.
She straight up is like, hey, I heard a rumor the back of your head explodes and he fucking dies. That doesn't happen in the show.
Nope.
As hilarious as that would have been. Because as soon as it started, I'm like, does not look like Jackie Kennedy at all. That plotline's not gonna work, guys. You're gonna have to do something. And also, you probably can't on TV have one of your characters kill JFK. That's probably not okay.
That's probably frowned upon somewhere.
Yeah, like
or
you can
something.
do it in a small not visual novel. Jesus Christ.
Graphic novel?
comic that like
Yeah.
nobody is, some people are gonna read, but on a Netflix show you probably can't have a protagonist kill JFK. That's a lot. It's a big ask.
That is definitely a bit. There are lawyers involved when you get to that point. And you're
Yeah,
like,
right.
hey.
It's a little something.
Yeah. I mean, I think the season was good and it was very entertaining. The only complaint that I have was that there is a character whose motivations just seem batshit insane every episode. Like, it is constantly changing, and you're staring at them just being like, why are you like this? Like, what happened to make you like this? Because none of this makes sense for you. Like, I feel like they just wanted to have turmoil within the family, and they were just like, this season it's you get to bitch.
Sure.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, the fact that you know who I'm talking about without me naming them it tells me that I'm on a right track there. Yeah, it's just like, all right, fine. But yeah, like if you liked the other two seasons, if you watch it, if you haven't seen the other two seasons, watch the other two seasons and then watch this. It's pretty good. It's very weird, but that's why I like
weird.
it.
Yeah. I mean, that's Umbrella Academy has always been weird. One of the kids is a time traveling 8-year-old. Like, I don't know.
Like
it's always
12.
going to be weird. 12.
It's always been weird, and that's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah.
And like, it's Gerard Way being Gerard Way, and I'm just like, yeah, this is.
Is it worth reading them?
Makes sense. I would read it.
I thought the first two were really good, and they're not. I mean, they're vaguely similar to the show, but it's not like if you've seen the show, you know what's going to happen in the books.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
because it's fucking wild. It's crazy.
I would argue that the books are better, even.
I've been recently like, I should read comics, so I've been like,
right after you finish your fighting game,
getting ready to read comics, if that makes sense.
Getting ready.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
I don't know.
I mean, if you want, I mean, there's only 3. This is an easy one.
Yeah.
I
I think I want to read The Sandman because that's been like critically acclaimed as like one of the best comic series ever, and also they're making a TV show now.
Not read that one.
Do you want me to give you some recommendations right now of some things to read? Because there's some solid ones that I think you can run through real quick.
I'll write them down. I've read Why the Last Man. I really like that.
Are you doing comics or manga or both?
I was more going comics.
Comics, okay. I was gonna recommend Promise Neverland. Because the second season, they never made a second season of the anime, so the manga is the only way you can get it.
That might actually be worth reading. Wow. Yeah.
It's the only manga I own. I don't have all of it, but I'm working on
it. If you want a very fun and complete story, you can pick up Marvel 1602.
That's too many. I didn't read 1601.
Yeah, it is literally just Marvel Universe 1600s. It is 8 issues. It is 8 issues. It is very good. And it is written by Neil Gaiman, and like you have a very nice, fun, complete storyline of that, and it's very cool to see characters that show up in it. And it's kind of like, this is weird and kind of interesting. Like, it's fun to see, like, Nick Cage being a spy for Queen Elizabeth, and Captain America is a Native American.
That's fun.
Like, it's a very neat thing that you start, like, seeing a couple people and their, like, powers and tropes and stuff, and you're like, oh, I bet this is so-and-so, and, like, there are a bunch of explorers that go on a ship and they get lost, and when they come back, they magically have powers, and you're like, oh, that's the Fantastic Four. Yeah, like, it's a fun kind of like microcosm of Marvel.
Yeah.
In a very short thing.
I was also looking for like completed stuff, so that's pretty interesting.
Because
there's just so much that's been running for forever that's like I can't possibly get into at this point.
I'm not super into like comics.
Yeah.
But I really like the Scott Pilgrim series. Obviously, I love the
Oh,
movie, but then
that's
I went back
true.
and read the books, and I was like, oh, this is actually really fun. He did one other book called Seconds,
Mm-hmm.
which I liked a lot. It's just one. It's just one graphic. It's just one book. But I thought it was really good. I really liked it.
Interesting.
The Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim stuff, that's like graphic novels, right?
Yes, there are 6.
I've never considered reading those. That's a good point, though.
I love them. They're actually, you can get color versions as well. I have a full set of colored versions. If you lived anywhere near this state, you could borrow them, but you don't, so you can't.
Yeah, something about stuff being colored is compelling too, which is why I've been kind of leaning away from manga.
Yeah, that's fair. I will also say, sorry, with Promised Neverland, the first arc is almost identical to the TV show.
Huh.
Which is a little frustrating because it's like, oh, this is really good, but I do already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I didn't bother watching the second. I mean, there is no second season of the anime, so it's interesting once they get off the farm.
Yeah.
I mean, not spoilers. Once the things happen in the first season. Whoops.
Spoilies.
Sorry.
I think my advice would be to go to a like secondhand bookstore or even like a comic shop that's got kind of like a used section, or go to any like the big conventions that have like comic shops there. They always like have like a bunch of trade backs of ed that are like $5 a piece, and just buy a bunch of different ones and just start trying to figure out what you like, because comics is just so broad and there's so much there that you just, even a character that you might like on screen might not have good stories on paper, and so you just kind of have to shoot around, and also shoot around in kind of like different times of like either the golden age or the silver age of comics and things like that. Like I realized that I couldn't really get into a lot of the comics that were like, oh yeah, this is, the Guardians of the Galaxies from the 60s or the 70s, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't working for me. I'm not about that. So I had to like move my bar up of basically anything from like the 1990s onward. And I have like a bunch of books that I bought because I was like, I don't know, Hulk. And so then I read it and I was like, this is stupid, not Hulk. And then it's like, I don't know, Doctor Strange. And I read it because I was like, I really like Doctor Strange. And then after reading it, I was like, this was not that good. Maybe not Doctor Strange. But then I fell into a rhythm of what I did find a storyline that I liked, and then I just kind of followed it through. And so now I got like 100 some issues collected over various trade backs of Nova, because to me he's really cool. I really like Nova. I think he's one of the best superheroes in the MCU. I don't know why. I just really like him, and all of the stuff in all of the events that he shows up in, it's really fucking neat. There's an entire galactic war that he has to fight. There's the Annihilation run of comics, which I think is fantastic, and I keep just patiently staring at the MCU, waiting for them to press that button and go through that story arc, because it's fucking amazing. And I think every movie we're getting closer and closer to seeing that might possibly happen. But it's just like, it's one of those things that like I found my niche, and I hope that you find yours. And maybe it's Spider-Gwen, maybe it's something completely different, maybe it's the Walking Dead stuff. Like, you just gotta
Maybe it's hentai.
Maybe it's hentai.
Who knows?
You just gotta find stuff for cheap, and there's a lot of ways to find stuff for cheap and test it out. And then if you like it, you can easily then go find, everything about that and start it from start to finish.
So I have read, going back to like colored stuff, I have read a bit of manhwa instead of manga, Korean stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Usually their stuff you can find is like in a format to be read on a phone, which is kind of cool. And that's where I've read it, is like in between, like just read a chapter here or there if I'm going off doing something.
Sure.
And it's all drawn as a long strip. So you open the chapter and you just scroll up until you're done with the chapter. And it's all like really good art and like colored, and I don't know why their stuff is like so much more advanced compared to manga. It's weird.
I mean, it honestly, you know what it could be? It could just be that manga's been around for so long that they do it in paperback, but if the Korean scene is a little newer, they were like, well, no one's going to buy a fucking book. They're going to read on their phone. Let's design around the phone.
I was going to say, it sounds like probably a cultural or a design thing, because you can make mangas have color, but I think the entire idea of those is supposed to be like, it's something that you cheaply buy from the stands every week, and you just kind of like are like, okay, cool, I've read my thing, and you kind of like toss it or whatever. And whereas like if it's on a phone, you don't have to pay for the ink for the production of it, and also you can you know, it's you can easily just update that with a new chapter every week or something if you have like a subscription to that story or whatever. Like I think Jake's nailing it, what he was saying on that.
Because a while ago I read a bunch of Tower of God, which is now an anime, and that was in that format. And then more recently I read through Solo Leveling because a lot of people were talking about that online. Pretty good series. It's like 150 some chapters, but it actually goes like pretty quick. But that's like over now, so it was nice to be able to like read through that whole series. And literally it's just like you got 5 minutes somewhere waiting for something, you're in a car, I don't know, you like read a chapter, just scroll down on your phone for a while. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that seems neat. That seems like a fun way to be able to read it. I know that I don't know if other publishers have it, but I know that there is a thing that Marvel has that's called Marvel Unlimited, where you can just like read Marvel comics.
I've seen that stuff.
Yeah. I've never done that. I've liked having the books on my bookshelf. So
I like digital comics on my iPad because it's a 12-inch screen. Like I have the big one. And it's just about the size of like a regular comic, so you can actually have like a whole page on it. It's pretty nice. I know the Marvel app, they try to do stuff to cater to phones a bit, where like they'll have auto zoom locations and you can like tap and it'll zoom to the different like dialogue portions on the page.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but it works, I guess. Sorry about this big comic tangent.
No, I think it's neat. I think that, you know, it's a good thing to have, and you know, like, hey, if you're into that, maybe one of the comics you can get into is any of the Star Wars ones, because that's a very large part of the current Star Wars canon outside of the Disney Plus stuff. And you know, if you've been keeping up with that, they just finished Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Obi-Wan is fine.
So Obi-Wan's less good than Stranger Things and Umbrella Academy, is what I'm hearing.
I'd say yes. I would say yes.
Okay.
I mean, it definitely took me a couple of episodes to get more on board with it, and by the end I was like, this is neat, but I don't know. None of it seems like a story that needed to be told. You know, at the end of the day of it, I'm looking at it, I was like, I don't know, like, we knew how it starts and we know how it ends, and nothing in here really made it worth exploring. It just was a story about Obi-Wan.
Didn't you really like Rogue One?
Oh, I fucking loved Rogue One.
Okay, let me ask why it's different.
Yep.
Because, you know, obviously the same things apply.
Yeah, you know, you have a very good point that the same things do apply there, of like, I knew that none of those characters were going to live. But I think the difference there is that I enjoyed the art and the story that was Rogue One because it was different than what else was happening in the Star Wars universe. And because like you did have a foot soldier's perspective, you did have it emulate like a war movie, like the you know, like Bridge over River Kwai or the Green Beret or something like that. So like it was cool to see that. and I really enjoy it for those aspects, whereas this just seemed more of the Skywalker saga, which we've already had a lot of, if argument possibly too much of. um and like, it's nice to see Ian McGregor as Obi-Wan again. I really liked seeing him as Obi-Wan again, but didn't care too much about the plot. And I don't know, the only neat thing was to see him fight Vader. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is a neat thing. And that was it. Like, I don't know. Like, the part of me just kind of wishes that they either didn't do it, or if they were going to pull this, that they would have done more with it. I was really expecting there to be more of a like cat and mouse between Vader and Obi-Wan, and that like Vader would never quite get to him. The same way that in like Clone Wars, Anakin and Obi-Wan keep trying to get to Grievous, and they never fight Grievous. Because there's like an entire
reasons.
Because there's an entire point in the movie of like of him being like, like now we finally are able to fight each other, and so like you need to get to that point. And so I was kind of thinking that was how this was going to be, but they're like, nah, they're gonna fight throughout the entire series, and you're like, cool. I mean, it's neat seeing force powers and lightsaber battles, but you could have done this with fucking anybody. You could have made a brand new Jedi and Sith, set it anywhere else, and had those battles be looking that cool, and just I'd be just as happy. So I don't know. That was my take. Has anyone else been watching it at all?
I haven't watched it yet.
I don't really do Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm eager to see what other people think of it, because I know like it was Disney's strongest Disney Plus launch, and they were saying like it had the most views of anything that they've actually put onto Disney Plus. And I think that they're probably going to do a lot more of stuff like this. Like, there's a lot of talk of them doing a season 2 of this, which I think that they're going to do, but I would not say that this is in any way better than The Mandalorian, or or Clone Wars, or Bad Batch. And so I'm just kind of like, yeah, I guess this is fine, but like, you guys already have good properties from this franchise. Just do more of that. It's fun,
Yeah.
I wish somebody would take the idea for Star Wars 1313 and how that never happened, and do something with that. Like the CD underbelly of Coruscant, and like really getting into that stuff.
If we're gonna do that, sort of interactive experience. I don't know.
I think so. It's funny that you mentioned that, because after Boba Fett, somebody mentioned 1313, and I was like, oh, I don't think that they can do it. I don't think we will see a live action 1313, because like Boba Fett was supposed to be like, oh look, he's taking over Jabba's stuff. He's like the big bad bounty hunter. And while it was very good storytelling, the seedy bad illegal stuff was not present. Or not really well. I don't know. There wasn't any grit to it. And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna go do something illegal, and you're just like, what, speed 5 miles over the speed limit there, Boba Fett?
They're like afraid to do like a rated R Star Wars.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is they're very much afraid of doing something that kind of rated
I never
R.
thought of that.
Yeah, and I don't think that we will see a live action.
They should do like a mature R-rated.
If they did,
Star
it would
Wars
land
story
so well. But I think Disney's too clean cut. I mean, everything. If I'm not mistaken, everything on Disney Plus is PG-13 or below. I could be wrong on that, because I know that there's some stuff that they got from the Universal side, so that might have changed stuff up. But I think that's kind of the problem, is like, if we want to see seedy underbelly, if we want to see like real gritty illegal kind of Star Wars where they're dealing with the slave trade and drug usage and shit like that, I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to either see it inside of a comic or see it inside of a video game. I don't think we're gonna end up seeing that in
And
a
that'd be
live action
crazy if they
space.
did a video game.
Man,
Yeah,
if
can you
only
We're
they-
just
imagine?
back to 1313. Good job,
Make
guys.
it, guys. It was such a good idea. And Konami,
was.
make Silent Hills.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted it. Fucking make it. Don't give Silent Hill the Bloober team. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
How did
Like,
we get there, Jake? What
There,
the-
there just seems to be so many slam dunks that people are missing, and you're like, guys, this is not hard. Just
Right?
it's not
Make
hard
Silent
to
Hills.
do.
Like, I think people still sell consoles that have the PT demo on it.
I
They
bet
do.
they
Crazy
do.
amounts of money.
Like, I don't... Like, if you make something and literally everyone gets excited about it, maybe don't cancel it. Maybe make it instead. I don't know. I'm not a businessman. I don't know. And if you
I don't
put
know.
something
Everybody
out
was
and
excited about
literally...
Cyberpunk.
I mean, sure. But how much money did they
They
make?
made a lot of money,
They
though.
did make a lot of
Bazillion.
money.
And like, hey, Sonic Team, if you put something out and literally everyone goes, wow, that looks terrible. Do not say, you don't get it, though.
You don't get it.
It's gonna be good. No. That means it's probably bad.
Yeah, the
Remember-
Sonic video game team should follow what the movie team did.
Yes.
Yeah!
Thank
Go
you,
back
Caleb.
and be like, we'll show you, we'll make it better, and then we'll show you, and you'll like it.
Yeah, no, I agree with Caleb there. It's just like, hey, take a note out of that book of just because when people saw that and goes, that looks bad, they were like, you're right.
Yeah,
and
it
I
does
think
look
that's
bad,
exactly
huh?
what they should do is just being like, when everybody looks at your game and goes, that looks bad, perhaps revisit your thought process.
I don't know, man. Especially, what's weird to me about 1313 is after Fallen Jedi
Yep,
Fallen
Order.
Order.
Yep.
Got it. You'd think they'd be like, oh, we should make another single-player Star Wars game. Didn't we have one everyone was excited about a few years ago? Maybe dig that back up. Whatever, though. I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem weird that the next single player Star Wars installment that we're getting is a sequel to Fallen Order.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, EA got the license to Star Wars and then did nothing with it.
Ah,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
It was
they made
really
Battlefront.
weird.
Yeah, they made
They made 2 Battlefronts
yeah.
and that they
and
made
canceled.
that X-wing game, whatever that game was.
Yeah, they made
Oh, yeah,
Squadrons.
Squadrons.
Squadrons. Sounds
Squadrons.
And
Yeah.
they canceled like 2 other games, and then also, then they like closed the studio that was making another one. And isn't there one that's still being made by like?
Oh,
no, that might have been-
Dream. Quantic Dream's making one. I don't know if that's
Are
what
they?
you're gonna
Quantic Dream
say.
making
Quantic
one
Dream
now.
is making
Yeah.
one, and everybody.
I was thinking of
one
I think
wants that.
Visceral, which I think they could shut down. Maybe
Yeah, of course. Why would they keep this? They made Dead Space, and that game sucks. No one likes that game.
I distinctly remember the trailer for the one that I think it's Acolyte or something like that. Of just everybody's like, "Oh man, this thing looks awesome," and then they saw the Quantic Dream thing, and they were like, "Never
Oh,
mind,
yeah.
this is gonna suck."
Yeah, it's gonna
Like,
not be good, actually.
we take back everything that we wanted out of this. This is gonna be bad. Thanks anyway.
Yeah.
If you do like Star Wars, though, you can check out my streams every weekday, or mostly every weekday, where I'm playing through the old KOTOR games.
Are you still playing one? How's that going?
Yes, I am
Yeah.
still playing through. I just got to Tatooine on one, and it's going. Neon White stalled me for 2 weeks there, so I'm back
That'll
on.
do it.
I'm back on track. But yeah, it's going well. This game definitely did not age well. The combat is very
It's
janky.
rough.
It's much jankier than I remember. And
The
so
combat's got the like D&D style rolling issue
Yes.
where you just
Yeah.
stand there and miss over and over while they
Yep.
miss over and over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I learned pretty early not to dual wield early game.
Yeah,
Because
will-
you just will
yeah.
not hit anything.
Yep.
Ever.
It
also
won't hit you either, but yeah, you won't
Yeah.
hit them.
the AIs are also bad.
Mhm.
Like it is amazing to me how like I'll go and I'll be like, hey, use your power shot on these people, and then 2 seconds later I go back to it and they're just like back to using their regular blaster shots and not using any other abilities. And it
Sure.
doesn't make any sense to me because it's not like they don't know how to use their powers or don't use them, because some of them do. Like the Jedis all understand being like, oh, health is low, should use the force heal thing, and then I will go back to using my lightsabers in like the best way that I know how. And I'm like, cool, I don't have to program that person, but instead I gotta babysit this one over here that like cannot understand keep using sniper shot until you no longer have the ability to do sniper shot because everything's dead. Like, I don't understand that.
Maybe the remake will be really good.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm
Who's
doing it.
the hope?
Who's making it? Does anyone know? I know I'm
off
just
the top of
putting
my
off the
head.
end of this podcast. We said it would be a short one, and it's been a fucking monster.
Yeah.
I forget
Somehow
who,
it's one of the longest
but-
podcasts now.
but it
Yeah,
is.
I know. We're a disaster.
I forget who, but they have done ports in the past, and they've done a very good job of remakes. And so everybody was like, "Oh yeah, no, this is actually going to be good."
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, let's. Do we have anything else?
No.
Okay, cool. Let's.
I've got nothing else. I think that's everything. So thanks for
Inspired.
stopping by.
Yeah. Weird episode.
Boy.
Gosh.
Oh, cool. I hope somebody enjoyed that.
Yeah. How do we end usually? We say
Uh,
bye.
Something,
That's it.
something,
Bye.
something. See y'all next time.
Yeah.
See-